this before. And let's see, we got a counter. Yes. Welcome, everybody, to the Arnold Classic preview on this channel, the Ron Harris channel. Who else in this wide world of sports could I have as my partner in crime doing a preview for a show like this, but the man himself, king of all journalists in Europe and all other continents, Giles Tiger Thomas. What's up, Giles?
I'm doing well, Ron. Oh, Ron, I got used for yesterday, mate.
Oh, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. It's
yeah,
a fake.
I found it on my desk yesterday. I don't know who left it, but I just thought, oh, I'll give that to Ron on the show tomorrow.
That was either Lauren or one of your cats, Smile, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think it was Lauren.
Okay. Well, we are live, guys. If we screw up, there's no chance to edit. So let's get rolling, man. This is the Arnold Classic. It's the biggest show of the year after the Olympia, and it's the one that kicks off the season. A lot of times it sets the tone for the season. It gives a lot of momentum to whoever wins this. Last year's champ, Samson Dauda, it really put him on the map, set him up to do much better at the Olympia, which he did. Took third place behind Hadi Choopan and Derek Lunsford. Man, this is the first Arnold I've missed in a very long time, years and years, but I'm very happy to be doing this preview with you, Giles. Let's start from the very top of the favorites. He has to be the favorite because he's the only Olympia champion in this lineup. He did manage to get here from Iran a few days ago, about a week ago. He's here. We're talking about Hadi Choopan, and it is Choopan. Remember people were trying to correct me and shame me because I was saying his name wrong?
Yeah.
Well, I did a preview a few days ago for the Muscle Tech YouTube with King Kamali, who was born and raised. He was born in Iran. He speaks Farsi. He says, no, it's Choopan. Don't listen to all those other people. So I'm going to take his word over it. But let's start with the first question, Giles. Is this a risky move for a guy who just lost the Olympia to jump into a show like this? Because I would think he better win this show. If he doesn't win this show, that's going to put him in a tough spot to get his title back this fall against Derek and the others.
If he doesn't win this, it's going to be like the fifth place for Ramy. It's kind of really going to knock him back to. This is the main competition. I don't see anybody else really threatening those two unless something badly goes wrong. But for Hadi, for me, he is the favourite. I'm sure I'm going to get shit for that, but I don't care. And I'll explain why. Because last year for the Olympia, I did have Hadi winning it, but I wasn't shocked that Derek did. I wasn't like, I completely sort of blown apart by it. I thought, okay, I get why. Very, very close. Derek was slightly better from the back. But with Hadi, it comes down to, can he come in improved? Because obviously there is a gap between him and Samson, because I had him first and I had Samson third last year at the Olympia. So we go upon how they looked last. Right. So the thing is with Hadi, have we seen the best of Hadi when we know that Samson is based upon his previous track record is likely to be improved? So this is what makes it really exciting for me, because are we going to see the best ever Hadi, or are we going to see basically what Hadi's been bringing since 2021? Let's be honest. Yeah. Because I just hope he's a little bit harder from the back as well, because I felt like that's what lost him the Olympia when he hit those back shots, because he's very thick, very very dense. But for me, he was lacking conditioning in the back last year, certainly in the rear double biceps, which is obviously Derek's main shot. But with Hadi, he is the favourite for me. But it all hinges upon how much Samson has improved. So yeah, that's my take anyway.
Okay, well, I'm going to attempt this.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, it looks like it's working. So let's see if we got any recent updates from Hadi. There, he's doing some cardio. So no. See, he's got training updates here. Still training very, very heavy. Wow. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can count better than I can. 6 plates.
He did 6 plates for 6 deep to the floor reps.
Unbelievable. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say that's not smart. Hadi Rambod is an amazing coach. He wouldn't have him doing anything stupid at this point. All right, so here we go. This is a recent update from February 5th. So this is 10 days ago. Very close to contest condition. Yeah, I mean, condition-wise, let's wait till he turns to the back, of course. But geez, he is big and full here. Any comments so far?
You notice he didn't hit any back shots though.
He doesn't in this whole thing. Let's see. Is this just the same? Oh, it's just the front.
I've not seen any back shots because to me, I mean, like I said, even when I first saw him in 2017 at San Marino, like the only weak pose he really has. Okay, I stand corrected.
This is the day before. This was February 4th.
But the only weak pose he has is that rear double bicep, not because of size or density. It's because of lack of separation and conditioning. His rear lat spread is incredible. Yeah. But for me, I mean, every bodybuilder has, I mean, he's strong in every pose but that one. That's what I'll say. I suppose, by virtue that is a weak pose for him. But he's got a lot of muscle on that back. I'm curious to see how it's going to look. So I still, and I know, but the shoulders, I know they're better than they were. Yeah. I still look a bit pointy to me. They still look a bit filled. They don't move naturally. And for me, for someone like yourself and I, we have that kind of eye. We've studied these physiques for years. You see their progress. For me, it's a distraction. It's a distraction for me. But let's see. But they look better than they did in 2021. But they still, even there, my eyes are drawn to his side delts, and it pisses me off. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they don't look there. They don't look as bad there. But this shot.
He fixed it. He fixed it for the Olympia last year. I felt like it was a lot better. But the year before, in 2021, they were horrendous.
Yeah, they were very
22,
angular.
He fixed it. 23, I had no issues with it. But for me, he's obviously still doing it. He's still putting his gear in there.
I mean, where else are you going to put it, though?
Well, no.
Here.
No, look there. That shot for me is kind of ruined.
Wow. Okay.
They're filled. They look filled. They look unnatural. They don't. There's the separation, and it's kind of they just look unnaturally full. They look fake. Like bloody like implants. I mean, not like a women's implants. Do you know what I mean? Breast implants. That's what they kind of look like to me.
Fair enough.
But that's just my opinion.
Fair enough. So let's go. Let's move on to. It's funny. There was some comments like, let's see if Giles can be a impartial toward his countrymen, which you always are. I've never seen you really gas up a competitor from the UK just because they're from. You're not like that. It's people are ridiculous. But
I've Hadi winning. I've got Hadi winning. But then again, like I said, it hinges upon how much Samson has improved. Because based upon the Olympia, Samson was third, and I had Hadi first. So there's a gap there. So I had Hadi ahead of Samson. But the thing is with Samson, he's improving all the time. And bring him up, and I'll give you my take.
Yeah, of course. Here we go. So let's go to present that. I had all these clips of posing from contests. I'm being very transparent with you guys about my incompetence here. I had all these clips loaded up from their posing, but every time I put them on, we couldn't hear Giles or me. We couldn't hear either of us. So, okay, so we have it up there. So let's take a look. Let's go to the stories because that's usually where we see the most recent updates. That's just his supplements. I think he's walking the gym there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 plates. Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Behind the neck. That's not in front.
Are they 20s or 15s?
Let's see. 10.
Oh, the 10s. The
10 kg. Is that 10 kilograms right there? So
yeah, 10 kilograms. That's basically 225 behind the neck.
Okay, still, I mean, well, I want to see the posing. So these are the stories. So let's go to the most recent. Here we go. So, okay, that's a good one right there. That was taken, that was posted 9 hours ago. So this is very, very recent.
Yep.
Like you said, the separation, very, very deep, crisp and clear with those quads. King made a very interesting point about Samson and the fact that we keep harping on his condition. It's a skin tone issue. When someone is more dark complected, sometimes the details really get washed out. He brought up like Orville Burke. I'm thinking back to guys like Robbie Robinson. When you're up close to Samson, you can see the condition is right where it needs to be for the most part. I'm not saying he's like in way better condition than we think he is, but I wonder, is that the case? And what do you think about that whole theory?
Well, I mean, okay, let me break it down. So for me, the quads are more separated now than when he did the Olympia in 22 when he took 6th.
Okay.
I definitely see that. I see that. I mean, thing is, I feel the pressure for him because I think people just expect him to be so improved every single time. But so far, he has managed to do that. And he's still managing to keep the aesthetics. Do you know what I mean? So I think I've seen his calves have took a bit of a level up as well. I mean, he's obviously been hammering them to pieces. But
Yeah.
for me, it really makes the picture look nice. But with Samson, yeah, he looks very, very good. I know. And I'm going to say this now. I wish they didn't filter and sharpen the pictures, though. I'm sorry. It really irritates me because all it matters is what you bring on contest day, and he does bring it on contest day. Let's be honest. He's the Arnold Classic champion, third best in the world at the Olympia. And you know what? I'll say this now. I was thinking about this today. Even if Hadi beats him at this Arnold Classic, I still believe he will win the Olympia this year.
Wow. That's a bold statement. Now, why that doesn't seem on the surface to make any sense at all. So please explain.
I just think that Samson's going to be more improved, whereas Hadi is kind of peaked out. I mean, I think Hadi's physique, even though in 22 when Hadi came back, he put on Hani Rambod said he was 10 pounds heavier than in 2021. The shoulders were kind of fixed, so they weren't a distraction.
Yeah.
But for me, he's because the shorter guys, they max out a lot quicker. Now, unless I think Hadi's going to have to absolutely bring absolutely crazy conditioning to beat Samson, and because obviously that's how Hadi looks his best. Even though it's funny because even when Hadi won the Olympia in 22, that was probably the worst condition he brought at the Olympia ever.
Oh wow!
But he was just bigger and thicker and fuller. He was. We and I were there, second row, mate. What do you think?
No, I agree. It's it's people when we say Hadi's getting worse, people think we're haters, we're being blasphemous. How dare you say he's getting worse? But that doesn't mean he still wasn't the best on the day that he won.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I'm getting at.
We're comparing him to the best we've ever seen him. And is he the best we've ever seen him? I think I haven't seen him at what I consider the best I've ever seen him for a couple of years now. And that's not a knock on him. I mean, there's so many variables that go into the way a physique looks on stage with the carb up, the drying out. Every little thing can have a massive effect, and it can have effect in a matter of a day or two. We've seen Hadi change. Remember those couple of years where he got here very late, and he had to shed all this water on Friday night. He was holding, I don't know, 5 pounds of water at least, and then we'd see him the next night, and he was like, wow, completely dried out. So here we go, Samson versus Hadi. This was the last Olympia. Samson towers over him, and that shouldn't matter. But I mean, his shape is better, his structure is better. Hadi just has this crazy muscle maturity and density right now.
Crazy.
So it's apples and oranges.
Samson will need 3 things for this Arnold Classic if he wants to beat Hadi and overtake him.
Okay.
He's going to need an improved readable bicep because that is Hadi's weak pose. He's going to need slightly better condition than he had at the Olympia at the finals.
Yeah.
And he's going to need to keep that midsection, especially in the side shots, because the side tricep last year at the Arnold. I mean, I'm being super critical here because we're at that level now.
Yeah. And
he's going to need to bring. He's going to need to keep that midsection nice and tight. Be conscious of it because in some of the side poses he was letting it go a little bit, and it is coming down to the fine details because it's going to come down to the wire between him and Hadi. It literally could be a flip of a coin, like it was with Derek and Hadi last year. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, he's just constantly improving. So I think if he gets those 3 things absolutely nailed, then I think he could win this. He could win this. He will. I think he will overtake Hadi. But like I said, he has to bring those 3 things. I'm excited. Also, he needs to get him peaked absolutely perfectly because you saw in Romania, I think it was the traveling and he looked tired on stage. The stage presence wasn't like it was at the Olympia or in Prague when I was there. And like if he doesn't come in nice and full, he loses that impressiveness and that pop. So I'm sure Milos is really feeling the pressure and really on the case to bring him in full and hard and his best ever. But like I said, I mean, one thing you can guarantee on Samson is that he hasn't maxed out yet in terms of improvements and his physique, whereas I feel like Hadi has. So Hadi's going to need to bring pin sharp conditioning if he wants to beat Samson again. But like I said, Samson's the guy that will be improved. So pretty much I think it's a safe bet. I mean, we're seeing there, like you can see in his physique and the separation in his back. And I feel like if his riddle bicep is improved, then I think he's going to pip Hadi here. So like I said, but it comes down to those variables on both physiques.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only. Samson's made such crazy improvements. His back is much better than it used to be. I want to see this area right here just a little bit thicker. as much as he's improved, and the guy's like 300 pounds on the dot on stage, I still think he's not fully evolved. The final evolution of Samson. I don't think we've seen his career best. I think he's still getting better.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. And the thing is, he's got a very, very, very good rear lat spread.
Yeah.
I think he's got a great readable bicep. But I'm from like the Flex Wheeler, Ronnie Coleman, kind of Dorian Yates era, where I know that he could still be better in that pose. And I think, and that as it proved, with like Phil Heath and Flex Lewis, sometimes it can come down to it. That readable bicep can be the sort of the cincher. So, and for me, that's the only pose I feel like he needs to really improve. And also, I'll tell you something he started doing. Look there, when he does that frontable bicep, he's put the leg out. Apparently, because I spoke to Milos about this, and I said, why is Samson hitting the frontal bicep front on? I said, it looks. I said it completely takes away. It doesn't display his aesthetics. And he said, oh, he was told to do that. When obviously with the pro league and stuff, they suggested he do it that way, and I said no. I remember when Samson did he competed against Nathan Diaz. I think it was the 2021 Arnold Classic, and he came out, and it was when he'd made it was another time where he'd made big improvements. He came out at the front, and he just flicked the leg out, and he just did that little angled, like the Sean Roden type front of a bicep, and it looked absolutely sensational. I'm glad to see that he's doing that again. So, but I still feel like he has the potential to have like a readable bicep, like Flex Wheeler or Ronnie Coleman. I really do think he's got the potential to do that, and that's the one pose where I feel like he could make more improvements. And if he does, then I think he's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but we talk about who's got the potential to become multiple Mr. Olympias and hold a title for years. Mm-hmm. Who has the tools, the structure, the shape, the size, condition, the total package. And I'm not sure Samson's exactly there yet, but I do believe he's the one guy that's competing right now who I could see doing that. I could see him winning 3, 4, 5. Goodness, I'm not going to go beyond that. People are going to think I'm out of my mind, but physique-wise, just structurally and everything, I think he has the capability of doing that. But man, I'll tell you, if he beats Hadi at this show, that's going to put him
over. Game over.
That's going to put him in an amazing spot to take out Derek.
Yep, I think so. I think, like I said, if he beats Hadi, then I think he'll win. I think he'll win the Olympia. But even if Hadi did beat him, I still think he'll win the Olympia because I think he has, how hard he works and how he improves. And I think as long as he stays healthy, injury free, and the thing is, do you know what I really like about Samson is the fact that he's as focused as say Dorian Yates was in the 90s. But Dorian, this was before social media. Dorian was just literally a bodybuilder. He just bodybuilded. That's all he did every day: eat, sleep, train. I mean, he did what? A couple of photo shoots a year, a couple of guest postings, couple of seminars, and basically we didn't see him for the rest of the year. Right. Samson is like the new breed, where he's like a sponsor's dream. I mean, no wonder that Hostile signed him for 5 years because, if you look at his stories, and the way he posts, he's so consistent. Yeah. And he's an example of someone that has done everything right for the last 3 years. Not just as in terms of his training and his nutrition, which he's clearly on top of, but the fact that he's I even spoke to him about things like blood work, and he's so on top of things. Do you know what I mean? He's really smart, and I think this is partly why he's been so successful in the last couple of years. And also, he's clearly not afraid of hard work. And Milos, he pushes them fucking hard. He kicks their asses, and he wants them to compete. And the fact that he's actually enthusiastic to compete. I mean, I spoke to Samson at the after party in Prague, and I had my food and a glass of wine, and I was walking through to the other room. I was talking to Ed Connors. I had my friend George with me. Yeah. And Chris Cormier and Kevin were there and stuff. And I walked through, and Samson was just sat down, and he was just waiting for his food to come. And I said, Samson, mate, and I leant over and I said, mate, please tell me you're not doing Japan next week, please. And he went, oh man, I'm exhausted. He says, no. Because he'd just done Olympia, he'd done Romania, he'd just done Prague. And I said, mate, please don't do it. I said, don't do it. I said, get some. He says, I'm exhausted. I'm going to get a rest. I said, good. I said, because it'll only be a couple more weeks before you get ready for the Arnold again. I said, because you know what Milos will be like. I said, it'll be on your case. So I just hope he continues doing exactly what he's doing, how he's feeling. And I think he's destined to win the Olympia this year.
Fair enough.
Regardless of what happens in Columbus.
I'm jumping ahead now because after this, that's our top two. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of arguments that that's our top two.
Could you imagine if either of those guys didn't make top two? Could you imagine the shock?
I might actually like faint and fall down on the floor in shock. But
Look what happened with Ramy in 22, mate.
yeah, I mean
Did
that's
we-
why it's. I don't want to say it's a risk because I think Hani Rambod is, if not the greatest
Yeah.
coach that we've ever seen, he's definitely. I mean, in terms of Olympia titles, winners, he's the greatest. So I don't think we're going to see anything less than the best of Hadi. Although the human body, as we know, it can be unpredictable at times. But Hani is a master at adjusting and and he can fix issues very quickly. I've seen him do it so many times with so many different Olympia level guys and Olympia champions. But let's move ahead because.
But also, I mean, when I heard that, I was so excited when I heard that Hadi was doing this. Because for me, I thought, oh shit, this is going to be a cakewalk. This is 450k for Samson. This is too easy for him. Do you know what I mean? Because 300 by winning the Arnold, 150 winning the Arnold UK. Because don't forget, they're going to be coming up against each other again, hopefully, at the Arnold UK. But when I saw that, I thought, good on Hadi for really putting his balls on the line here. Because to really step up and say, right, I'm going to go do the Arnold Classic, he's really trying to get back some momentum. Because obviously the goal is he wants to win this and then he wants to win back that Olympia title.
Of course.
So good on him for really putting his neck on the line here, because I think that really takes balls, and I really respect him for doing this actually.
Okay, it's time to wake up, you guys over in Brazil. Can you hear me? Bom dia, Brasil. Here we go. This is, I don't want to say dark horse. His name is Horse. Have you any inkling why he's called Horse? Because even Milos didn't know.
I watched a Jay Cutler interviewing Milos and Matt, the manager, yesterday or the day before, and he said, why do we call him? He said, what's in? Because Jay said, I don't even know the guy's name. And then Milos says, Marcelo De Angelis.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know why they call him Horse. I think it's because he's got freaking legs like a bloody racehorse. Like, the hind legs of a racehorse. That's 100%. Why I think he's called Horse.
Yeah. So King made an observation. He compared this guy's. He's damn good. Were you there in Romania? I'm losing track of the shows. I
was in Prague, but he was supposed to do Prague, but he pulled out.
Okay, but man, what a debut! This is a guy that was classic physique competitor. He wasn't like an awesome classic guy. He wasn't like, I don't think he was ever really going to be pushing for the classic physique Olympia title. His body was trying to grow, and he literally outgrew the division. There was that incident where it was 8 pounds.
Ron, can I interject? He turned pro as a super heavyweight at the Brazil show.
Oh, okay.
And then the idea was that he was going to make his pro debut as a classic, but he did turn pro as an actual bodybuilder, because I thought he would make a great classic, and I was really disappointed when I heard he wasn't doing classic. But so I was Sorry, I just distracted the bloody group chat coming through there.
Well, I could see Jen's asking Miguel Chain why is he called Horse?
Stop bloody messaging.
No, but whenever you have a question about Brazil bodybuilding or fitness, Miguel Chain is your go-to guy. He has the answer for lickety split. But yeah, a lot of people don't realize Chris Bumstead turned pro as a bodybuilder as well, as a heavyweight bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But
I thought if he turned pro, if he did a pro show as a classic, I thought he'd be problem for Bumstead. I honestly thought he was that good. I thought he was that good. So when I heard he didn't, I was really disappointed. But now I take it all back. Because when I saw what he brought in Romania, I was absolutely blown away. He beat Nathan, for God's sake.
He beat Nathan. I mean, the only that Samson won that show. Wasn't that one of the 12 shows? 20 shows Samson won last year. But look at this. Kamali actually made a good comparison. Who he reminded him of was Dennis Wolf, with the shape and the structure and everything. That shoulder width, the shoulder to waist ratio, those legs. My goodness, those quads, and then the hams from the side. Wow. Like I said, often you see quads like this every now and then, but you rarely see quads like this that also have this crazy ham and glute. That's deep. Look at that. You could.
And unlike Dennis Wolf, he's got calves as well. He's got bloody good calves. I mean, his whole lower body is phenomenal. But also, these are from Romania. His legs are even bigger now. Yeah.
Because he was trying to keep. For I don't know how long he tried classic. It wasn't that long, but he was restricting his growth. And then once it became clear he just couldn't even make the weight anymore, that was it. That was the end of classic for him. Yeah. So here was his pro debut as an open debut, I should say. It wasn't his pro debut, but open debut. And you could see he looks in those progress pictures, probably lost a little bit of fullness in the upper body coming down to dry out for the show, it looks like. But geez.
Look at the legs. Look at the tie-in when it goes up right up to the hip, the glute there, the glute ham sort of separation that goes right up to his hip bone.
Yeah. So again, a lot of times when we see these guys with the crazy limbs, the arms and legs, the torso still needs to come up a bit, and I think that's a very apt description of what we see going on with Marcelo. But it's not that far behind. It's not like he has no chest and no back or anything like that.
But
Um,
it's funny because he's got an absolutely incredible rear lat spread, but I would say his only real weak pose is that rear double bicep. I mean, that's the only pose that he really needs improvement on.
Yeah.
But it's funny because Flex Lewis always had for me, he had a weak rear lat spread, but he's got one of the greatest. He had one of the greatest rear double biceps of all time. It's crazy, isn't it?
I think you have to have a crazy back development and thickness to have your back look great in both of those poses. A lot of times, if you have enough width to your shoulders and back and a small waist, that rear lat spread still looks pretty damn good, even if you don't have the thickest back. But then when you put the arms up and do the rear double, that reveals that maybe your thickness is wanting.
Okay, with Marcelo though, it all comes down to how fast this guy is improving, and I hope he's not in too much of a hurry to put too much size on. Because I saw that side tricep or side chest? Yeah, he posted, and I'm thinking, shit, he looks like he's banged on another 10 pound here. But you notice he posted a side shot, not a front shot, because for me, when he went from amateur to pro, I felt like the waist did get a little bit wider. So I just hope that he's keeping an eye on that, because if he puts too much size on too quick and he's in too much of a hurry, because obviously he's a young guy, he's enthusiastic, he's got great sponsors, great support, so he's got his body probably really, really wants to grow fast. I just hope that he doesn't blow those aesthetics, because he's got a really nice shape, and his side shots are absolutely incredible. The side chest, the side tricep, phenomenal. And I really rate this guy. And to be honest, I think he could take third.
Oh, I would not be shocked in the least. I mean, I keep revising my predictions every couple weeks, which is
I do.
But you have to, because you're seeing these guys as they dial into the show and things change and your opinions change. Yeah, I have him in a solid third. I would not be
solid.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't make third. And that's why do I always have to say this? That's no disrespect to the other guys. It's nothing personal, guys.
I think, like I said, we say there's like two competitions sometimes going on, even in like a top six. I have the top two pretty clear. That's the shot. Yeah. I'm thinking the waist looks a bit wide there. Does that look a bit wide to you?
If I were him, I would try to really suck in for a little bit more of a vacuum on that shot, because it would look so much better if this wasn't. He doesn't have a bubble gut. Don't get me wrong, guys. But if this was sucked in more of a vacuum, he's flexing his abs here. That's what he's doing.
Do you remember Dorian in '97 in his last Olympia? Do you remember he came in and his waist was a little bit wider?
Yeah.
That was. Do you know what that's from? And I've seen it. I won't mention other names, but I've seen that. It's when they start using insulin. It is the insulin. The waist every single time, because it puts a lot of size in it. Every single time it goes a little bit wider. I noticed that in another top pro, and I said to him, "What have you done different the last couple of years?" And he said, "I've just started using insulin." Not large amounts either. And some of these guys, they're really, really hammering the dosages. But I just hope that's not going to translate to the stage, and he's going to look, really, really good. Because otherwise, that's going to throw his front shots off.
Well, we have an answer straight out of Brazil for the nickname from Miguel. I told you Miguel would get this quick. So he said, we like to give people nicknames in Brazil. Many years ago, used to call big guys like this cavalo. Cavalo is horse in Portuguese, which you Spanish speakers out there know it's caballo. It's very similar. Little by little, people in the gym started changing cavallo for the English equivalent, horse. And MD, Marcelo D'Angelo. So, okay. Thank you, Miguel. Obrigado.
Can I quickly tell you what I'm really, really hoping for? I'm hoping like the first and obviously maybe the last call out is literally Samson Hadi. But I'm hoping that the second call out is Marcelo, James Hollinshead, John De La Rosa, and Rafael Brandeo, because I think that one will get the crowd going just as much as Samson and Hadi.
Oh, 100%.
What do you think?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, it's going to be, obviously, like I said, I think the top two, nothing is a foregone conclusion. Nothing is set in stone, of course. We've all seen guys who are like last year's Arnold. I mean, we saw Rami in the lineup. We saw Rami in the list. We're like, okay, well, Rami's going to win that. He's a two-time Mr. Olympia.
Did you think that?
I did. Just, even though his physique, I had doubts because of what we had seen at that 2022 Olympia where he had gone 2022 Olympia, where he was clearly saw that deterioration in several areas. But I thought he'd be able to pull it together. I thought those stem cells were going to work miraculous effects on his physique. It did though, and he got fourth. Right. One more thing. I want to give Miguel credit for even more information. He said Marcelo was bigger than everybody, even when he was just a teen. So it was a teenage time nickname, and he started using it on his social media.
Okay. I interviewed Marcelo once, and because he had somebody there like helping with the English. He could understand me.
Yeah.
Like when I was talking to Rubiel, he could understand me, but or Criso, but they if I speak too quickly, they can't catch up, sort of thing. And then he said, I said, so what is so good about this? Why is Brazilian bodybuilding exploding like it is at the moment? And he just went, Brazil is hungry, man. I'm like, I love it. Yeah, I love it.
His English is actually very good. He helped me at the Arnold last year at the meet and greet that they do every Thursday night. He helped me translate for Ramondino. He was Ramondino's good. Aren't they training partners too? Is that right?
Yeah, I think they're flatmates or something, because I know that he was driving Ramondino around.
Oh, that's right. Because
Ramondino didn't have a license, or he'd lost his license. I can't remember the exact reason, but he was basically looking after Ramon. But I tell you what, I think Marcelo is one of the most exciting new bodybuilders to come to the scene in the last couple of years.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, how old is he now? He's still quite young, isn't he?
I want to say like early 30s, maybe only like 31, 32, if I'm going to guess. Somebody can correct me if they know.
Yeah, I'm sure he's. I've got like maybe around 30 in my head. But I tell you what, I think if he continues, with this work ethic and and stays on target and doesn't, because obviously in Brazil, these guys are like literal superstars.
Yeah.
And I just hope he stays in a distraction-free environment where he can keep improving, keep working, and it kind of and he keeps competing as well. I hope he does like a Samson, just like literally for a couple of years, just hyper focuses and just goes for it. Because I tell you what, I think he's I'm really looking forward to seeing him next to Rafael.
Is it Rafael that he trains with? I think it's Rafael.
Yeah, they all kind of train. They all know each other, don't they? They're all it's a very close knit bodybuilding scene over there. I think they do. There's a couple of main gyms that they all train at. I'm sure Miguel can let us know.
Right. Well, let's. I was going to go to another Brazilian, but let's try to break up the nationalities here, shall we? Let's go. Let's go back to UK. Yep. I actually James, the clip I had loaded up of James was from his. He won the Arnold UK, right? No, he didn't. Well, anyway, what did he win? The British Pro.
He won Italy Italy in 22. He beat Alfred Kiriak.
Okay. Well, anyway, the stage stuff I had of him, it did not do him justice. I mean, I don't know if it was the camera quality, the resolution didn't do him justice. Okay, so I don't think his stories have any posing on him, so we'll go to the posts. This guy, because he looked flat, he didn't look in shape, but compared to let's look at the actual. This is posted. Well, these are the comments. You can't always go by the comments. So this is very recent. I think this is within a couple of days ago.
I saw this one a few days ago. I think it was last week.
Yeah. So was it multiple shots? Yeah. One of the hardest training guys, super, super strong, which a lot of people appreciate that, of course. Very, very dense muscle, great shoulder to waist ratio. Structurally, not as gifted as some of the other guys with his clavicles aren't, like we say, Phil, they used to say Phil Heath has narrow. He didn't have narrow clavicles. They just weren't super, super wide. Actually in this shot, the V-tape looks pretty damn good to me. So condition wise, it always comes down to condition with a lot of guys. So how many days? This is I want to say this is about a week out, this picture. Grainy, he does have that grainy look. I want to get to that. Oh, here he is, like probably deadlifting 500. No, that's a barbell row. I thought he was going to deadlift it and he's rolling. It's like
I wonder if the training style of Milos, if he's implementing that, has given him like a different stimulus to his body. Because because for me, this is a new look for James, and I like it. I think he looks great. I think he's always in condition, but it's funny because Milos was going on with Samson saying, "Oh, conditioning, it's about #bodybuilding. It's not about conditioning." But with Marcelo and Hollinshead, it's looking like they're going to be absolutely shredded beyond belief. So it proves that's all nonsense.
Yeah, and it's not always about it's a total package. It's not a conditioning contest. It's not a size. It's not a shape. It's a total package. And when someone isn't as gifted in one area, maybe like structure and shape, they can often, Dorian didn't have the prettiest shape. He didn't. Let's be real. But geez, he was big and thick and dense and grainy condition, and he dominated for years and years that way. I see that grainy look. I talked about that British work ethic, giving you guys credit because boy, what a hard training group. Who was it I just talked to? Lewis Breed. when I talked to him a couple weeks ago for the Muscle Tech YouTube.
Mhm.
It's sort of an ingrained work ethic that the guys over there have, where they always have that underdog mentality that
Mhm.
they feel they really have to work that much harder than maybe an American bodybuilder to get the same recognition and accolades.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not afraid of hard work, and I feel like he's really, because when I heard he was working with Milos, it was quite. I thought I don't think there's enough time to really see any noticeable effect, but I'm seeing improvements. I'm seeing improvements. I think they realise that the conditioning and dryness is going to have to be the calling card. He looks a little bit. He looks lighter, but for me he looks great. He looks fantastic. I mean, like I said, if James could possibly take third, I think he could possibly beat Raphael and Marcelo. But like I said, I think it's between those three guys and De La Rosa. I think it's going to be a real dogfight. I think it's going to be very, very close. And I can't say for certain, like I think Marcelo could be third, but I wouldn't be shocked if James Hollinshead took third.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, there's some people that think that James could beat bloody Samson, and I'm like, yeah, unless Samson just eats. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's a clear delineation between the top three Olympia guys, Hadi and Samson, and then the next group of guys. I think there's a bit of a gap, and I'd be very shocked if that was disrupted.
Well, I like to say that it's true that everyone is beatable, but when you have people that just have these certain gifts and attributes, it's very hard to beat them unless they come in a little bit off and you come in at better than we've ever seen you. I do suspect we're probably going to see James better than ever because he took all of last year off.
Yeah, that's right.
We didn't see him at all. I mean, that's hard to do for a pro because these careers, they're short. If you have a 5-year career as a pro, you're doing pretty well. If you have a 10-year career as a pro, that's exceptional. If you can go actively compete and still stay in the top rankings for 10 years or more, that's phenomenal.
I think at best third. I think at worst seventh. I mean, I've kind of got like third to sixth in my head.
Yeah.
I think he could fall anywhere from, like I said, third to sixth. I think that's fair because he's not really missing anything. He's going to be bringing condition. And Milos is obviously, it's a high profile contest. He's working. It's not like he's had a couple of shows to work with James, smaller shows to kind of, get it right or learn what works. So he's just obviously said, look, let's just get shredded. You've got the size, you've got the thickness, and that way you'll hold your own and also potentially do very, very well. Like I said, third to sixth.
Yeah, I do see more roundness and fullness in his muscles. And I don't know if that's because of God, I was going to say insulin, silly me, but I didn't mean it that way. The training style, I don't know if he has incorporated more of that Milos really high volume and those giant sets and everything, because you don't typically see an increase in roundness and fullness if someone continues to train in that super hard and heavy Dorian style, because it's just not enough volume.
I mean, he actually looks aesthetic in that shot as well. Like that side tricep. I mean, James is a big lump. I mean, he's a big, thick, he's a really big guy. Do you know what I mean? So for him to look aesthetic in a shot like that, I mean, maybe that'll be the way that he levels up by getting that combination of thickness and aesthetics, I think he looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to that front double. That's what impressed me because this guy's always had a top physique, but I see the shape has improved just because he looks round and full. Like he didn't have this much pop to the lats and drop. You know what I'm saying? And being leaner helps too, of course.
But another thing is like how if Milos looked at his physique, he's like, okay, how can we improve this guy in this amount of time? Is he going to look better by coming in bigger and heavier or thicker, or do we just try and get him? I hate the word streamlined because it makes it sound like he's gone smaller, but he's not gone smaller. He's just gone more detailed and more conditioning. Because sometimes they can look flat in some of these progress pictures, and you see them on stage and they're full as a house. Do you know what I mean? So. But he's clearly because he's never done an Arnold Classic before, not in America.
Right.
So he's obviously looking to make an impact. But I think in the time they had together, I think this was a smart move, going for conditioning and, because like I said, he's got symmetry, he's got proportion, and he's got a shit ton of muscle.
All right. Well, let's go back to Brazil. We got to keep going back to Brazil every couple of minutes because they're coming on strong. I always check the stories first because that's good. He doesn't have a million stories like some of these guys. So is he working with Neil for this?
Yes, Neil Hill.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
so we'll see. So this is another guy we haven't. Whose foot is that? I don't know. Oh, geez.
Fine.
Ooh, looks like, oof, what the hell? Gross. Dropped a dumbbell on or something? So he's another one. Yeah, okay. He's clearly working with Neil there. Look at the increase. It's not that he was a small guy. He was never a small guy. I'm going to go back to that. He looks so much bigger and fuller now than I remember. He took all of last year off, which is always a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
And especially a guy with the waistline that he had, it's like, as you said, when you're making these improvements in mass, this must be, was he in the US already? Or is this an older picture?
That's an older, I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, he probably fly. Well, I think the 22 Olympia, he was going back and forth to Vegas to train with Neil and Flex.
Okay, so this is older. So I'm trying to find, that was Arnold a couple of years ago. That's South America. He won the show that they had in Brazil, of course.
That's right, yeah.
And yeah, we have not seen this guy on stage since 2022.
Statistically, though, he's the best out of those guys I've mentioned. De La Rosa, Holland's Head, and Marcella. Really, I mean, he's top 10 Olympia. He got 10th in 22. Yep. So really, on paper, he's probably the favorite to be third place. But like I said, we haven't seen him since 22, so we don't know what he's been up to or how he's going to look.
Yeah, and I'm glad the show is so wide open after the top two, and I'm not saying that's again, it's not locked that Hadi and Samson are top two, but it's most people would see it that way because of their track record and what they bring. But yeah, it's exciting because third, fourth, fifth, sixth could go so many different ways. Nobody could really make a prediction, and I would never put like thousands of dollars on to be exact with my top five because it could go so many ways. Rafael, if he's bigger and fuller and maintains all that shape and comes in great condition, of course he could easily be third place behind those guys.
But the thing is, if we go upon what he's done in the last few years, he like from when I saw him in, like I said, the first time I saw him was 2017, the San Marino, when he took 8. He was like 24 years old then.
Yeah.
So he's he's like 30 now. He's a guy that every single year he's been actually criticized in the past for not coming in a lot bigger, just a little bit bigger, little bit bigger. And it's frustrating for the fans because they all want to see the guys get big quick and get huge. But I've interviewed him a few times, and he says, no, I'm in no hurry. He says, I'm not looking to blow my aesthetics. I don't want to. I don't like that kind of physique. So this is where. This is kind of like I said with Hadi and Samson. Samson's going to be improved most likely, but so that could pull him ahead of Hadi. But you've got someone like Rafael that if he's still managed to retain those aesthetics and had it improved a lot, and he hasn't been sat on his ass since 22, which I severely doubt. Yeah. But you might have someone like Marcelo who's in a hurry to get big and who might blow his aesthetics. So that means Rafael will probably likely beat him. So that's why it makes it extra exciting for me anyway.
Yeah, no, you could see here the added mass. He was never this thick and dense, never.
Beautiful physique. I love Rafael's physique, and I think he's such a cool guy as well. He's such a cool guy.
Yes, and his English is pretty damn good at this point.
Yeah, I love him. He's a great guy.
I give everyone credit for learning English because we're too late. Americans, we're too lazy to learn other languages, so we're always happy when people make the effort and learn the language we speak. Yeah, let's move on back. Let's go back to the USSA. No, there's only one else. USA, De La Rosa, John, because this is no particular order, guys. I'm not going through these in the order I definitely think they're placing. So as always, I start with the stories. Here we go. 23 hours ago. So this is yesterday.
Yep.
What a beauty! I love that shot on him. His front double bicep is amazing. So we did see him come back last year, and it was rough. He had two second places behind. He took second in Chicago behind Justin Shear. The Justin fans are going to kill me. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to pronounce anybody's name. Shire. Okay. And then second to Hunter Labrada. So 2 second places, which would have put him at the Olympia in. Was that the 1 year that they got rid of the point system and now they're going to back?
Yeah. There's no shame in coming second to someone like Hunter. I mean, come on.
No, of course not. So, okay. So he had posted that on a post as well. That's his, are they married? Yeah, they're married. This is his wife.
I think so.
Yeah, beautiful woman. Yeah, good for you, John. All right, so this was 1 day ago. I'd want to see more. That we have to make critiques. So the one thing I've always wanted to see more of, and it's silly to call it on one shot, is more deeper, clearer separation. It's a lighting issue here because look, if you look in the reflection in the mirror over here, the separations actually look deeper than they do close up with the flash.
Looks good to me. Looks good to me.
He looks very good.
Yeah.
People have always said if you look shredded in a flat with a flash on,
Yeah,
that's the true test, because anybody can look a lot better with that nice perfect lighting where the sun's hitting you at the 72-degree angle from the northwest at 5:42 p.m. You know, you have to stand the exact spot, like Indiana Jones had to stand in that spot to get it's a Indiana Jones reference. But man, great shape, thick and dense. You know, no real weak points to speak of. I think he's another guy, should be in the first call out. We'll see what happens.
I've got a lot of question marks over John, because for me he's got the size back, because last year, because obviously he tore his bicep, didn't he? I interviewed him last year.
Oh, okay.
He tore his bicep, and then he kind of only had so many months to kind of get back up there. And you could, I mean, he looked great last year, he looked fantastic, but it was not the John De La Rosa of old. You could still see he needed another good 6 months in the gym of hard, heavy training. Because think about it, after tearing the bicep, you know, even if you're training, you're still not training full. You know, you still need that time to get that size back, and I think he has got the size back now. I mean, I'm seeing him looks as good as he did back then. Do you know what I mean? And honestly, working with Patrick Turner, I think he's the potential's there for him to be like his best ever. Because look, even when he's hitting these shots, look at the separation in his legs. He looks so full. He looks bursting full. So I mean, some people think he could be like 3rd to 5th, and I wouldn't be shocked by that. You know, so like I said, 3rd, 4th, 5th was like Rafael, Marcelo, and who's the other one?
Hollingshead?
Oh, Hollingshead, yeah. And I kind of got like John maybe around 6th, but I wouldn't be shocked if he comes higher, because he's, you know, I think people maybe have forgotten how good he was. And it looks like he's got that back now.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing when he won the Toronto show. I was super impressed by him there. That's probably the best I've seen him so far.
Yeah.
But he's also looked very good at other shows where he you know, like he's one of those guys who's been 2nd place at a lot of shows, and that stings. He's, you know, he went through hard times. He had divorced 2 years ago. He moved, you know, he lost his house. He had to move back with his parents for a little bit. Then he moved down to Florida, had to open up a gym, and he was working like, you know, 16 hours, 18 hours a day, putting that gym together. It's a hard-working guy, man. I mean, we're going back to his amateur days, but he used to work repairing elevators. He was in elevator shafts, hauling hundreds of pounds of greasy machinery around. It was hot as hell in there. I mean, that's like the hardest physical work I can imagine. So,
yeah.
And
the bicep looks good. I can't see any deformity there. Looks good.
No, not at all. I mean, sometimes, you know, sometimes these guys tear it. They have a big gap there. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. All right, let's move on because we're staying in this realm of any people who could certainly be in the top 5. Here's a dark horse. Let's go to my man in Canada, Antoine. We love Antoine.
Ooh.
Antoine's look at him with the headband in the picture there, back when he had all that cool hair. So as always, you go to the story. Stories sometimes have nothing to do with their posing guys. His seems to be all about coffee and his girl. So we'll probably go back to this. Okay. That's obviously some very favorable lighting. He's training at that Pure Muscle gym up there in Burlington, Ontario. There's a cookie. That was Sean Roden. Okay. Is that his? Oh, that's his shoulder. Look at the stripes.
Right. I know. You beat me to it. I was about to say stripy delts before that picture even came up, mate.
Wow, look at that. I mean, sheesh. Who else has that going on? It's not a stripy.
Hadi, take note.
Yeah, it's not a stripy delt contest, but geez. Delts look damn good. Tips for calves: be born with great calves. Thank you. We're done. Great shoes. What the hell? He's got. Those look like slippers. Let's try to find some physique shots, though. Okay. So yeah, very aesthetic bodybuilder. Tremendous leg development, of course. And this is a guy who's torn not one but both biceps.
Yeah.
Which would be most guys would just hang it up and say, screw this. He's come back from a lot of adversities, from, you know, addiction. He's very, very open about that, which, you know, all of us who have been touched by addiction one way or another really appreciate that.
Rod,
yeah.
Mark, can I ask a question? I hope I'm not out of turn asking this. What was he addicted to?
I don't think he's ever. It was one of the opiates. I don't know if it was OxyContin, heroin. I'm not sure. If anyone knows, you can put it in there. But you know, it doesn't. I believe it was one of the opiates, because in our interview he talked about being at a rave or a festival or something, and there was plenty of people doing like Molly, but I think he said he left with a couple girls, and he went to go find his drug of choice, which clearly wasn't ecstasy or
Okay.
whatever you want to call it. So it was one of the opiates. It was probably
Okay.
either oxy or heroin. I don't know, but yeah, that's a very few people ever make it out of that addiction. So just on that, big props. And physique wise, I was there when he won Chicago. I think it was. Is that what he won?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's another guy we didn't see last year. Took the time. Oh, it was meth. Mike's saying it was meth. Okay, well, that's another one. God,
That's not good for bodybuilding.
Geez, that's not good for anything. I mean, it's just to
Good
be
that he's
able
off it. It's good that he's off it.
Good that he's got his teeth still. So many people from meth, they lose their teeth, which is not a good look for anybody. Yeah, Mike, that was in the group chat. We're going to bring Mike Cox in a few minutes, guys. Just get some insights from him. He's our man there in Tampa. Yeah, so a bicep that was torn. You would never know that bicep was torn.
Good surgeon.
Yeah, look at that. He's going close up. I don't see any crazy scars, no deformities, no gap. Nice fibers in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Antoine. I think he's awesome. I like his aesthetics. I like his conditioning. I love his posing. I think he's got a sensational physique. And for me, I answered this question on a podcast the other night. They said, "Who's your favorite interview of all 5 seasons of Globe Muscle?" And I said, "Well, to be honest, one pops into my mind. It's certainly the first season was Anton Vallant because I don't know why, it's the one that just stayed with me. You know,
I mean, he's just there's such a charisma around him, like a genuineness. He's real. He's doesn't try to put on an act like some of these guys. When I've interviewed some guys where it seems like they're auditioning for a movie or something, they're trying to portray a character. He's never been like that, and he's hilarious without even trying to be funny. Some people will try too hard to be funny, and it's like, eh.
He puts so much effort into his videos, and they're just I do like watching. That's the shot I saw. I love the stripiness.
That is great. Look at those shoulders. Wow, I've always loved his shoulder development. And he's gotten muscle quality because he turned pro very young. I think he was 23 or 24.
Wow.
I remember I followed this kid since he was literally a kid. Like he was posting back on the Muscle Mayhem, Chad Nichols' old board. We're going back almost 20 years. He was a kid. I think he was like 18 or 19. He was posting back then. Wow. It was him and Kuklo. They were both kids, and they were built like, as Mike Cox says, grown-ass men back then. Look at that density. Yeah. His muscle quality and maturity have really come up over the years.
I like it when you see these kind of like, I hate to call him a second tier guy, but the guys that aren't top 6 or top 10, they've never made top 6 or top 10 at the Olympia.
Right.
That get an invite to a show like the Arnold Classic, which is the second biggest, and they're not just sort of coming in 90%. They're coming in to be their best, knowing that potentially they might not make top 6. But I like the fact he has pride as an athlete, that he's thinking, do you know what? I'm going to bring my best ever to the show. Because the thing is, if you do end up overtaking a couple of the bigger names, it's better for that to happen at something like the Arnold Classic or the Olympia. And, rather than just go, oh, well, what's the point? I'm never going to beat these top 5 guys. So I really respect him for coming in, really, really working hard to come in. And obviously huge props for the stripiness.
Yeah, condition. Nobody gets condition like that without a lot of suffering. You're gonna have to diet very, very strictly. Most people have to go low or zero carbs, all kinds of cardio.
Ron, do you know what though? It's like, I know I keep going on about the stripy delts and the filled delts and all that, but look how good it looks when they don't do that shit to their shoulders.
Oh, dude.
Like they pump shit into their shoulders, and like he would a couple of shots of probe in his shoulders there, that would all be gone.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take your eyes off of it. It's
exactly. It looks so good. It looks so good. Why would you want to pin your dick? Just do it in your glutes. Do you know what I mean? Don't be lazy.
Yeah, I mean, somebody made this. I don't know who, years and years ago. They said, why is a diamond, a fine cut diamond, draw your eye? It's the detail. You can't take your eye. There's so much to look at. So much going on. It's just.
I mean, Brandon Curry's another one. He has really, like in some of his progress pictures, you'll see it. He's got huge shoulders. But then, like the detail, the stripes, the striations and everything. It's like, it looks so cool because, anyone can fill a muscle. I mean, God, I've seen so many people putting crap in their arms and their delts, and now it's starting to see people putting things like their lats and their bloody quads, and it's like, it looks awful.
I agree. So moving on. So we have not seen Akim Williams since last year at the Arnold. That was the last time we saw him. He was 6th place. He's been 6th place at the Olympia. He had a car accident the year before that, which really knocked him for a loop. And he needed shoulder surgery that he waited. He trained for last year's Arnold with horrible shoulder pain very limited in what he could do in the gym, and still managed to pull it off. And waited till a few weeks. He had surgery scheduled for like 2 weeks after the Arnold last year. So here's a recent training shot. He's leg pressing 10 billion pounds there. Well, that was the only story. Okay, fair enough. So let's go to see if we have any physique updates. Yeah, we do. Okay,
Side
cool.
chest, yeah.
So it's 4 days ago. Yeah, we love his side chest. You can see, you can see his shoulders must still be having some kind of pain because they call this rock tape.
I've had it.
Yeah, so it sort of holds your shoulders stable while you're training. I would have ripped those off before I took the pictures personally, but whatever. Side chest, great shot for him.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit like, that is his best shot, and he's posting it. That's all he's posting. So, I mean, I really love Hakeem. I'm really hopeful that he's, after his shoulder issues and his back issues with the, the car accident. I really, really hope he's okay. I hope he's not, he's not, in agony coming into the show and destroying his body. But a side chest, I mean, that's probably what I would post if I was him, because I remember the 2020 Olympia when he was 6th and Ramy won it. And for me, he had the best side chest in the top 6 Olympia in that comparison. But he's obviously back training, obviously hard. I mean, is that recent videos of 200-pounders?
Let's see. He's talking about muscle med, so it's hard to say. But this was last week. I'm cringing because
why are you doing 200-pounders if you had shoulder issues?
Even if my shoulders were in great shape, I wouldn't be doing that this close to a show.
Yeah, that's I'm not. Yeah.
I'm impressed, and I'm sure people are out there salivating over that because a lot of people just love to see the heavy training. I understand that, but the risk-reward ratio is so far tipped toward risk. You could see the wobbliness. Hakeem, no.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, mate. I that makes me cringe. And I want good things for Hakeem. I like the guy, and I like his physique. I think he's a badass bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, like I said, for me, it all comes down to those rear shots, because the last time we saw him at the Arnold Classic, like, a lot of the back was missing for me. Not just in detail, but size, because he's always struggled with detail from the back.
Yes.
And the thing is, he's one of these guys that can't come in smaller and tighter, because then he loses that impressiveness. Because I remember seeing him next to Brandon Curry at the Arnold Classic, I think it was in 2019 or 2020. And like, when he comes out, he's an absolute monster, and he kind of has to bring that. So I just hope we see I hope we see what we saw potentially at like the 2020 Olympia. I would love that, because he was 6th that year, and in 2021 he dropped to 9th, and then the year after he dropped out of the top 15. So I just hope he's injury free, not in too much pain, and I just want to see him back to his best, because I think he's an absolutely incredible bodybuilder, and he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I was going way back. This is 9 weeks ago, guys. So don't worry that he's in much better condition now. So let's go to here we go.
Good to see him back, though. Good to see him back.
Here's a guy we've seen many times, Justin DIFBB. We used to call him Luis Rodriguez, but now he is Justin Rodriguez. So of course we go to the stories first. Valentine's Day, the dog. Okay, no physique updates. Look like his kids there or something. So, okay, looks like he went over to Pittsburgh. I mean, his shoulders have always been incredible. He's got a great front double. Let's get to some updates. Some posing guy. Come on. Yeah, we know he's got these crazy peak biceps, these crazy shoulders, which at times have looked suspect, but they look pretty natural to me right here. Natural in terms of nothing weird going on.
Yeah, but with Rodriguez, you can't gauge anything from his progress picture, because I've seen him a week out and he looks soft, and then he turns up on the day and he's like, boom, he's shredded. Like I said this before, I think he's one of those guys that maybe keeps quite a lot of sodium in right until the last minute and then just pulls it, because there's the only way that you could gain that conditioning in that short space of time, unless he's posting old progress pictures. But I don't see why he would do that. But Rodriguez, a couple of years ago, was one of my favorite pros. And he kind of still is, really. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But we saw a little bit of a decline in him last year. But I mean, these pictures, he looks absolutely fantastic. But like I said, you never know what he's going to bring until show day. I'm just hoping, like when he won the what's that one? What's the one that what was that pro show he won a couple of years? The one they stopped doing. Forgot the name of it already.
No, he took second at the Boston Pro to to William Bonac.
Bonac, yeah.
And
But
that
what was that? What was that? The Indy Pro.
Yeah, he won the Indy Pro. You're right. He won that.
Yeah, he looked fantastic there. I mean, and
Yeah.
also remember in 21 when Nick Walker won the Arnold Classic, and
Yeah,
then
wasn't
we
he
had
fifth or something, or sixth? He was
he
way up
was he
there.
fourth? He was fourth,
might
but
be
he was
fourth,
like he
yeah.
was he kind of and it was him, Cooklow, and I mean he looked absolutely fantastic that year. No, I think Samson was fourth that year, 2021.
Yeah, but I remember.
22.
Yeah, that was a breakout.
I'm getting mixed up now.
I had never paid a lot of attention to him before that Arnold, and then I think that in my mind that sort of put him on the map. That show.
I love his physique. I think he's awesome. He's a cool guy as well.
That's his money shot right there. That front double bicep of his is just killer. Just killer.
Yeah. And the arms. Look at the arms.
If I had biceps like that, that's all I would. I would just be posting on bicep training videos like all damn day. Look at that.
We know, Len.
Oh man, but yeah, this is like I said, with him the progress pictures, they're never anything to get too excited about or too worried about, because I've seen him change for the better and the worse a couple times over the years. But he looks like he's on track. Let's go.
I think he's awesome. I want to see him back at his best. I really do.
Yeah. So who we got? Here we go. Let's go to guy whose name has become longer recently. He's added some. He was Mohammed Shaban, and now he goes by Mohammed Shaban Elimbabi. So let's see if we got anything recent on the stories. And that's his dog, I'm guessing. I don't know who that is. Somebody that sells cookies.
That's his missus.
Everyone's got their Valentine's Day pictures up. That's Larry Wheels. I don't know why that's up there.
Have you got Larry Wheels on your Valentine's picture?
Hey, he gets 10 extra points for reposting my post there.
Yay!
Thank you, Mo. We appreciate that.
Cool guy.
Yeah. Out in LA. Yeah, he's been in LA Charles Glass trains him. Let's see if we have any recent posing updates. This is Valentine's. Everyone had to put their sappy, even you well, we both did. It's the one day we put our sappy pictures up. Training, that's great, but I want to see some physique shots. Very strong. Okay, well, this was a while. This was.
He's not giving much away, is he?
No, but great shape, plenty of size, like almost all Egyptians. Tremendous leg development.
Yeah.
Okay, he's stacking every damn plate in the gym on there. Cool. God bless him. Yeah, he's covered up a lot of times, but there's a good shot you can get. You can sort of appreciate the physique. He's won some shows. He's been a top 10 Olympia guy.
Yeah.
Hasn't gotten a lot of hype going into the show, but he's certainly more than capable of being in that first call out and being a top 5 guy.
Yep. For me, it all comes down to, I just hope he comes in with a nice level of separation, because he's stacked with muscle. He's not missing anybody. I mean, look at that. He's not missing anything, not missing any body parts. But I'd like to see, like, I know if Dorian was prepping him, he'd look at him like that and say, right, we're going to pull you down another 7-8 pounds and we're just going to get you nice and separated. And I think that would, I'd maybe like to see him like that. But then, some of these guys, they don't really want to lose muscle to kind of gain that potentially. Yeah. And some guys don't gain the separation when they come down. Some physiques don't actually get any better. Right. So I think he's awesome, Shaban. Awesome, and he's a very cool guy.
Yeah, that picture we just saw was 5.5 weeks out. So okay. All right, we're gonna go to the last gentleman. He is last year's Arnold Amateur Champion, and that's how you get an automatic invite to the Arnold Open. That's how Rolly Winkler got to the Arnold the first time.
Do you think they should stop that?
No, I don't think so. I think it's an opportunity. You could easily say, well, this guy's, he's out of his league. He's going to look out of place next to a Samson or a Hadi or some of these guys. Yeah, he's not going to beat those guys. No, he's not.
But have you ever seen anyone? I remember Morgan Ast. Remember he turned up and he was ridiculously conditioned and he got last place. Right. And I just feel like if he'd have gone and done that at a smaller show, he maybe would have had more of an impact. I don't know. What do you think?
If somebody invited me to the Arnold Classic, I wouldn't say no. Just like if you qualify for the Olympia and there's no way in hell you have a chance of making top 10 if there's a 20-man lineup. Would you still go? I would, to say I did the Olympia, and it would give me that to say it gives you a new perspective, gives you a lot more motivation, because now you've stood next to some of the very best in the world, and you can go back to the drawing board and come back much, much better.
There's only one guy that to my immediate memory that has done won the amateur, and then come back and done very well at the pro was Andrew Jack. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah. Oh, I think Rolly in his first Arnold. I don't know how he did, but he impressed people, and I think he won the New York Pro a couple months later.
Hang on. I was there.
Yeah, you were. It was 20.
I was there. He was 8th. He made 8th, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah,
he turned pro in 2009. He won the amateur. Then he came back in 2010, and he was 8th. Yeah, he was 8th.
And I think he won the New York Pro that year, or was it the next year? But
that was 2010. Yeah, 2010. Okay. Sorry, he got 8th in 2011, but I remember him turning up to the 2010 Arnold. He looked okay. It was probably a good one for him to do, actually. But I think most, by and large, for a lot of these guys, I think it's they kind of get swallowed up, because like I said, Morgan Ash brought some absolutely the best condition of the entire show, and he ended up getting last place. And I thought, what a slap in the face.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop the screen. Mike Cox, if you're out there, this is your cue. Mike. Click that link and join us. And we're going to go to live chat. We're going to get Mike involved. It's going to be a good time. How do I get back to the chat here?
Hey, Ron, we got matching haircuts, mate.
Comments. We have 116 comments. Sorry. Well, see, you were never really losing your hair, were you? No, not really.
Not really. No, not really. I never had any for about 20 years.
My hairline was up to about here, and over here it was receding up on the sides really badly, and my crown, it's still this is going to be you can see it's got a long way to go. It's going to take like a year. There's Mike. Let's bring Mike on. What's up, Mike Cox?
Can you hear me, guys?
Oh, you're very loud. Ooh, calm down.
I feel like Nick Fury assembling the Avengers.
Yeah.
How's that better?
We have a Hulk. Now we have a Hulk.
I'm just excited to see you guys again.
Yeah.
Giles.
I'm Tony Stark.
How we feeling, bros?
Is that you on the shirt, Mike?
That is Mr. Jose Raymond. Honor Jose, Boston, Mass. Nice. The guy at the Olympian next to me, keeping me laughing out loud the entire show.
Yeah, we love Jose.
Giles, how you feeling, man?
I feel fantastic, man. I feel the best I've felt in years, mate.
Awesome, bro. I'm happy. Ron, I like that. We look like twins, don't we?
Dude, we all do. We look like triplets.
Bald as hell.
Yeah, if we could get some dance moves, we could be a boy band.
Got this, bro. Shit, bring that shit back, bro.
Man.
Hey, yeah. Mike, I'm trying to put some size on because I'm touring with Ronnie next month, mate.
Yeah, and a draw.
To hell with your liver. You can get another liver some other time.
Guys, I'm taking it really seriously now. I started creatine 3 days ago.
Oh, are you kidding me, bro?
Honestly, things are. I swear to God, things are happening. I was in the shower and I saw these veins on my inside of my arms. I was thinking the only thing I've done differently is creatine.
Dude, Celtec and Nitrotech. That's all you need. Remember, 10,000% better.
So we'll get into the Arnold in a second, but I want to warn everyone: if you have genetic hair loss from your family, the drugs you want to stay away from. Tren. I'm never going to use Tren again because I'm not going to go backwards with all this. Tren is horrible for your hair. Masteron too. These DHC derivatives. So, and I also had to quit smoking. I had to stop. I can't smoke marijuana. I can't take edibles if I want this to be a success. I feel smarter though.
Is that to do with your estrogen levels?
No, it's the cannabinoid receptors in your hair follicles that can lead to your hair being softer and falling out. Had no idea. I thought it was something else. I was mixed up because people were saying, well, you can still do edibles. And I looked into it. No, you can't.
You looked into it, didn't you?
I had to because I love weed. I've been smoking pot for years and years and years. Man. I'm not going to lie. Why am I going to lie about it? And, but I do feel, I didn't do this by choice. I'm not moralizing against anybody else. So it's totally was against my will. It's out of vanity. It's just for my hair that I quit. But I do feel like I'm getting some of my vocabulary back, my
mental clarity, right? You're a little more clear.
Yeah, and it's only been a couple weeks, really.
Hang on, Mike. You can shut up. You bloody live on it.
Okay.
Blagger.
It's part of my breakfast, Giles.
Yeah.
It's part of meal one.
We're gonna put some. I just want to start putting up some of the comments because we got a lot of them. So Jen Derisi Widmark over there in Long Island, New York.
Yay. Hi, Jen.
So Jen ran a poll on this YouTube channel. Jen's been my partner in crime, helped me out a lot with my YouTube channel. Thank you, Jen. She ran a poll. Oh, didn't she just have the results of the poll? It was 64% Hadi or something. Where'd it go? Did I lose it? We'll get back to it. I hate the bubble gut. I changed my mind. Hadi shouldn't win. He should get last. Oh no.
He hasn't got a bubble gut. What are you talking about?
Hadi's got abs, man. But
God.
it's just he's got great abs. It's just people got their favorites, man. Fans judge with their heart, not their mind, right? Like I thought Sean Ray won every Olympia because I judge with my heart. Now I can say, listen, I've got no horse in the race. You know, I can just be a fan and not a fanboy, right? So it's just it makes it a lot more clear when you're watching shows.
Nah.
The guy from Men's Wellness.
Oh, Jen wanted me to post up that I didn't load it, Jen. That tile with the haters. Jen made this cool meme that we use a lot of times because people always get mad with our previews and stuff. Because if we don't say their guy is going to win, they think we're the biggest a-holes. Guys, come on! This is. I'm glad everyone has fans that are so passionate. I am genuinely happy that people support their athletes and stuff like that.
Hang on. Some of the Hadi fans are a bit annoying.
Well, you know, there've been threats they've been made, and you know things like that, and that's not cool. Don't
threaten someone over a bodybuilding competition.
I mean, come on. I mean, Flex Lewis sent me the messages he sent me when he beat Hadi, and it was like, oh my god, these guys need to just chill.
Jesus.
Yeah, they need to eat some edibles, mate, and just relax.
Yeah, have a bunch of them.
I love the fact that they're Hadi fans, but like I said, I've said many times before, they're probably not bodybuilding fans. So They can't be objective. They just love their guy. They love Hadi, and I think that in one way that's amazing. But come on, just you know, like sometimes there's so many polls, and you know that only the Iranian guys are actually voting, or like only the Brazilian fans are, So yeah, I think I don't know. For me for what I've been doing for like 30 years and stuff, it's hard to sort of. I roll my eyes constantly, but I kind of get it, but it kind of annoys me.
See, Jen says my bet is on Samson too. Milos knows what Hadi's capable of and is competing for. So it's almost like a battle of the super coaches here between Hadi. Yeah, I mean, we got Aceto coaching guys in the show. We have Milos has what, 3 guys in the show?
Sorry, can I interject, Mike? Can I ask you? I think whether Samson wins or gets second at this Arnold Classic, I still think he's going to win the Olympia. What do you think?
Samson is going to be the 2024 Mr. Olympia. There's no doubt. Listen to me. I've never seen a guy get better while he's prepping. He hasn't had like a month off. He hasn't had like 6 months. Right? He's got a couple of weeks off back on the diet. Right now, I follow him on Facebook nonstop. Right, and all he does is eat. He trains. He hangs out with Mel. He walks his dog. But when you have a guy that kind of frame and physique, that's getting the condition, the muscle maturity is starting to show with his age, right? And he's got Milos Sarcev, the mind in his corner. It's just everything is like last year, everything was rolling towards Derek to win. Everything this year, even if he loses Columbus, he's not going to lose 2 shows. Let me tell you that. He's not going to lose Columbus or Europe. Right.
I felt like you said last year. I felt like they were priming Derek to ring. I felt like it was. Almost like it's not. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but I felt like it was foreshadowed. I felt like it was being geared up, and I felt like that was what we all sensed it. But I feel like now I do feel like I think Sam. It doesn't matter about what they want to happen. I think it will happen.
And what did Haney say? A good big man is going to beat a good little man. You know what I mean? Like, when you got a guy that looks like Haney minus the big back, and we got a couple of little guys that are Gaspari and Labrada.
Yeah.
And then when Samson does that twisting now, the twist to his front double,
beautiful,
bro. And the condition is coming, man. Like the glutes are coming in, the back's getting better, so work in progress. But Hadi's back isn't the best either. He's like you said, Giles, is the back double. Hadi's back double is ridiculous, right? The size is good there, but it's not intricate detail, right? So, and again, even when I saw Samson at the Olympia, watching him when we sat around with my eyes as opposed to the screen, he's not off. It may be the skin color, dude. It's just not. He said he's not dug out. But do you need to be dug out anymore? I mean, with what we saw with Keon winning, right?
Yeah,
it's just
I didn't like that,
and no. Listen to me. I'm sorry, Keon. Sean Clarita is Mr. Olympia. Period.
Yeah.
Done. Game over. It's a wrap.
I had Clarita and Hadi winning the Olympia last year.
Easily. I didn't. And I got to argue with Manny because she's a Derek guy. She loves that kid. But from a bodybuilding perspective, this is what we've judged for decades, right? Big, hard condition. No knock against Derek. He was beautiful, right? I love that kid's look. Yeah, the back double was just beautiful. And Hadi left it. Hadi didn't he wasn't the champion. Derek posed like Mr. Olympia. When he did that routine, I went to John and goes, "That's Mr. Olympia."
Yeah.
Because you got to show it, man. And Samson shows it on stage. So
Yeah.
this show would be interesting. But like I said, I got James Hollingshead a solid third in this row.
Yeah, right there.
Wow. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. But thing is, going back to Samson and Hadi, I feel like Hadi maxed out in probably 21.
20 and 21, Hadi should have won that show. He should have won Mr. Olympia. He should be
hang on.
Giles.
That was the shoulders. That's what knocked him down to fourth. I'm telling you, this is why I get so much hate for going on about the shoulders, but that's what they knocked him down for. Because Milos said to me, he says, "I think Hadi should have won the 21 Olympia." And I was like, "Not with those shoulders." That's what they knocked him down for.
What precedent would that have set if you get a guy with pointy delts as Mr. Olympia?
Come on. Yeah, and then the year after, he kind of fixed it. It wasn't as noticeable. And then what happened? He won the Olympia.
There you go. And it's just, but I think, you got that Samson train coming, man. That is picking up steam, Giles. Mm-hmm. And I hate, and listen, I hate to be that conspiracy theorist. I do, but I am. When Tyler put that video out with talking about Hadi's legs, I didn't notice it at first, but when he said it, I did. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you go to Columbus, what are they going to be looking at? The first thing when you see Hadi, what are you going to look at?
Legs. Yeah.
Mike, I got a lot of hate because I said, "Does it on Bodybuilders Without Borders?" I said, "Does anyone else notice it, or is it just me?" And you should have seen the comments. They were saying that I was biased towards Samson. I was a hater. I was pointing things out that the judges would then notice. I'm like, well, if I notice it, trust me, the judges are going to freaking notice it. His right leg it started in 21. His right leg is just, and it's the way he's putting his feet. And if you actually look at the bottom, is that if anything, his foot, the smaller leg is actually in front of the other leg, so it's going to look bigger. It didn't. It looked smaller. So you're telling me that the judges aren't going to pick up on stuff like that, and regardless of what somebody says on social media, it's not going to be detrimental to that athlete.
And
so
he's not aesthetic enough to do kind of a twisting pose where he hides that leg like Labrada, right?
Yeah, true.
He's a muscle. He's a freak. I mean, he comes out there, boom, hit that pose, freak show, right? But I don't know. Like it's gonna be a great show, and I hate to be a judge, but I'm at a point now where I think Tyler's a great judge. They're all good, and they work these guys. Now it's not two-man call out. Here's the top three. Go sit down. It's like they get worked, and with a small lineup like this, they're gonna get worked. No matter, they're gonna all get a chance. They're gonna all get an opportunity. They're gonna all get to show their physique.
Mike, do you think Samson's going to bring better conditioning than he brought to Olympia?
No doubt. There's no Giles. I think he'll be bigger. I don't know how much bigger he really is. He may look bigger because of the conditions better, right? He's not putting on 15 to 20 pounds between shows. But if he put on 4 pounds of pure muscle, that's a lot for a guy that big. When you're 300 pounds in shape, right? Pictures do not do this man justice, Giles.
Yeah.
At the meet and greet, I saw him. I'm like, what the is that?
Because he's tall.
He's tall. Like we don't see guys. Like we got guys now like Andrew Jacked, Quentin's coming on, Nextzilla. You see what's coming down the pike, right? I'm 5'7". I remeasure myself, Ron. I'm 5'7".
Oh, okay.
I thought I was 5'6" all these years.
Oh. You were 5'8" last week.
5'8", yeah, I was Bo Lewis.
You got to give me your secret. I want to.
Heavy squats, mate. Heavy squats makes you shorter.
Yeah, but Derek and Samson are what? They're shorter guys, man. Those I think we saw this big guys back in the 90s. It kind of went away for a little while, but we got some big dudes coming, bro. Like we got some freaks coming down the pike, and if these freaks nail it, if Nextzilla nails it, he ain't got the prettiest physique. But if that son of a bitch is shredded, dude, what do you do with him? What do you put him? Yeah. Where do you put a guy like that? Andrew Jack comes in bigger and more shredded. What do you do? Right? Because I love short guys because I'm a little guy. I love Momo. But a 300-pound freak from Nigeria, dog, is something special, man. Like people don't know what's coming.
What's your feeling? Because I said there's three things that if Samson's addressed that will mean that he beats Hadi. Because I think we know that Hadi's kind of like, we're not going to see something new, dramatically new from Hadi. We're probably just going to see more of the same, which is incredible. But Samson, I feel like if he controls the abs, if he brings better conditioning, and I feel like if he's improved on stage, if he brings a better rear double bicep, I think he's gonna knock it out the park and win. And I think if he does those three, I think he'll win straight firsts.
The rear double, Giles, with condition would be game over. It would be lights out, game over, right? And we already see the glutes coming in, bro. The glutes every week.
Calves, everything. Remember last year he improved his hamstrings. They looked more dug out. And then but we needed to see more improvements in the glutes and the calves. He's done that now. The quads look absolutely sensational. They look sensational last year, but I feel like they've jumped ahead in terms of development and separation and conditioning. What's your
He
feeling?
had lines in his glutes 3 weeks ago from the side chest,
chest, bro.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
this
but come on, these filters, mate. Come on. I don't trust it. I don't trust these pictures. I think you can only tell so much. I think.
But
personally,
do the filters make you harder or more detailed?
Kind of
I'm not a filter
really.
guy. I'm not a filter. I used the filter one time. I look beautiful. I look my skin, dude. I look like a model.
Yeah.
But it's just you can't. Why filter stuff? Because we're gonna see it in a couple weeks. And again, too, with these pre-contest picks, man, I expect these guys to look like this. Fans do. When you don't look like this, when you put picks up every week, and you don't look like this, they're gonna say you missed your peak. So it's just like Mo Shaban hasn't put out anything. So when we see Mo, we'll be like, oh shit, or you should have put, you know what I mean? But I'm an old school guy. I like covering up, man, saving it for the show. But I get it, and I'm trying to get rid of that get off my lawn attitude that I have, right? But it's not easy. But I love the picks, but I think that can you imagine if Samson didn't show any picks for 16 weeks, and then he shows up at a show, and we're just like, what the hell is that, right? But it does add excitement going to the show.
Yeah.
But
I think they're obligated, especially, if somebody's giving you a couple 100,000 or more a year to represent a supplement company, they expect you to constantly post content every day. That's your job. Dorian era was 30 years ago. Things have changed dramatically since then. I do agree with you, though. It takes away the suspense and the anticipation. What's he going to look like? We just saw him yesterday, and now you're just wondering, is he going to be able to hold the peak, or is he going to be able to drop the water, something like that? And you're taking a huge risk by posting your pictures filtered and in great light. Then if, as Giles says, didn't translate to the stage, and you get there and you're either in person, especially, but even if you're watching a live stream, you're like, he didn't look like, why doesn't he look like he looked on his pictures and his updates from just last week? What the hell happened to this guy?
Do you think he'll look okay? Is a very broad question. Do you think Samson will look better than he did at Olympia last year? End of.
I think so. I think
no doubt.
Yeah. There you go. Then if he's done that, then that might be enough to pull ahead of Hadi and win this.
Is Samson a favorite or Hadi the favorite going into the show?
For me, it's Hadi.
Hadi?
But I'm basing upon what we saw last.
Right.
At the Olympia. I'm not basing upon because we don't know what they're going to bring. If Samson comes in improved from the Olympia, then I say that will be enough to beat Hadi.
That's true.
So if not, because like I said, I think with Hadi, we know we're going to get more of the same.
Better conditions.
So we've got to go upon what we saw last. That's how we monitor. If you say you're 7th best in the world, what did you place at the Olympia last year? 7th.
Yeah, true. That is true.
But like I said, Samson keeps bringing something new every single time, and I think if he does that again, then I think he's got it. So. And
when does that stop, though? I mean, he improves. Imagine he's going to have 6 months between the Arnold UK and the Olympia. You know what I mean? And again, he's doing, as Sean says, the business of bodybuilding. He's traveling. He's making appearances. He's coming to America, bro. He flew to America for a shoot at Pittsburgh on a diet, traveled nightmares, and stayed on it. Like it's hard not to cheer for a guy like that. That especially he had a full-time job. You know what I mean? He worked.
And you know what? He's already, like Derek did last year, Derek already started acting like Mr. Olympia before he won the Olympia. You kind of step it. It's like dress for the job you want. They're kind of already, like Samson is already doing everything that would be what we feel all the fans and the industry would feel would be required of a Mr. Olympia. Samson's already doing literally from the moment he gets up to the time he gets to bed. He's not doing a Dorian. He's not just eating, sleeping, and training. He's doing all the social media. He's doing the YouTube. He's doing the traveling. He's doing the seminars. I mean, he's making himself extremely available. I mean, literally, I don't know how one person just does all that he's doing. I mean, I was trying to sort like some seminars out for him in Ireland and maybe look at doing a tour. And his availability, he's booked up, man. I mean, this guy's booked. You know, he's like you said, like Sean Wright, the business of bodybuilding. He's taking care of every single element, and I feel, and the thing is, it doesn't go unnoticed. You know, so. And like you said, then everyone is literally rooting for this guy. And plus, he's also a very, very good guy. So he's a cool guy.
Good guy. And when you have a guy that I think he appreciates what he has because he worked hard. He had a hard physical job, and I think now that you're in this position,
only 4 years ago.
Yeah, and that, dude, 4 years. That's insanity. When he posts those progress pictures, it blows my mind. That you improved that much, man. But I think even with Rubiel out and Andrew jacked out, people are it's a week. It's not a week lineup, man. These are the best guys in the freaking world. These are the best bodybuilders in the world. It's going to be a great show. You know what I mean? It's Arnold Classic.
So who do you think will get third then, mate?
I think James will be a solid third, but Brandao, he has the tools to maybe push. I don't think he can beat Hadi or Samson, but with his shape, if he has that condition and he's improved a little bit, he's got a beautiful look, man. It's apples and oranges with him. James, rugged, hardcore, grainy. Brandao is that beautiful, big frame. So it's just apples and oranges. He's the one dark horse. We don't know what he's going to bring.
It's like Dorian versus Bob Paris, like a bigger Bob Paris, isn't it?
Really? Right. Yes. Exactly, Giles. He's just him and Akeem. Like with these guys, we don't know which guy's going to show up, right? If they show up, but I think with Akeem too, man. And again with Justin, I loved Justin a few years ago, but I just think it may, Father Time gets us all, right? When he came out blasting full with the Arnold a couple of years ago, I was like, Jesus Christ. But he couldn't maintain, and weight started to go. He started to fade. But it's just, you don't know, man. But I think when you have Hani as a coach, Milos as a coach, you know what you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
Milos isn't feeling these guys all crazy anymore. He spilling them over and over. I think he's found that right balance with all his guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll be honest. I thought about this the last few days, and for me, I've got a really, really good feeling about Marcelo. Although that side shot has got me a bit nervous because he didn't post a front shot, and somebody else sent me the message. He said, "Giles, do you think his waist looks thicker here?" And I said, "Well, it's a side shot, so it's difficult to tell." I spoke about Ron about this earlier on, but I just think if he's managed to keep that waist small and he's improved from Romania significantly, then I would not be shocked if he stepped over Raphael and James Holmes and De La Rosa. I think maybe like 5th or 6th is likely, but I would not be shocked if he brings something new and slips in 3rd or 4th. What do you think?
I think he still needs that dense upper body, that density. When you see his front double, right, it's great, it's beautiful. He just that thickness next to some of those other guys, but he brings that. He had the condition he had. You can't ignore it, right? I'm a conditioning guy, and you can't ignore someone with condition and shape. But when he turns around to the back, that I think is where he's going to have some issues with some of the other guys, right? James,
the rear double bicep, a little bit weak, but his lat spread's incredible.
His lat spread, it's funny because you have those wide lats, and you think it would translate to
disappears.
It just goes. You know what I mean? It's just, and again, Giles, listen, bringing your back up is not easy to do, right? Nasser couldn't do it. Dorian said, listen, he's been training his back for all this time. It's not going to magically appear. It's hard. If you have a big body part that's missing, like a back, it's hard to get. Akeem's been training how long now, right? How many years?
20.
And it's still not there, right? It's genetic, man. A lot of it is, I'm not going to have calves. Ever. My wife's got bigger calves than I do.
She does.
I mean, she does. Yes, it pisses me off, and she doesn't. But it's just going to happen. But I think with the new blood, like Horse MD, man, I love. He's got a beautiful physique. Listen, he didn't look out of place next to Samson. He didn't. When I saw him next to Samson, I wasn't like,
side shots.
That side leg is just stupid looking. It's a Tom Prince hamstring drop that where it just falls out of his leg, right? So I think from 3rd through 10th could be any one of these guys, right? And nobody's gonna come in smooth with Arnold. They may miss it. It may happen, but it's going to be a dogfight. And I think too, when we have little lineups like this, it makes for a more exciting show because these guys all get a good look, right? Marcelo could be compared with Samson and Hadi. James is going to stand next to Mr. Olympia in a couple weeks. We're going to see what James looks like next to
Yeah,
Hadi Chupan,
yeah.
right? And improve James, right? And improve Rafa next to Samson. All these guys are going to John De La Rosa is going to compare it to James probably, right? These guys, listen, there's no more excuses. I didn't get a good look. So-and-so was overlooked. 10 guys, bros. Bring it. You got to figure out what you got.
Do you think this is a bit of a make or break show for James Hollingshead? Because he's jumping into a big show here. The last big show he didn't make top 15. So I think if he's come in with serious improvements and he's rewarded for it, I feel like he's gone not just back to where he was in terms of a multi-pro show winner, but someone that is really like a proper top 10, legit top 10, possibly not top 6 maybe, but top 10 Olympia competitor. So I think there's probably as much pressure on James as there is on Samson.
I think James has always had a top 10 Olympia look, right? He missed it a couple years ago. He was just overdieted. But I think, a third place here and, being compared to Hadi and then go back home and get a top 3 again, he's going to win a show. He's going to win another show. And he's a legit, Giles, maybe a 6th through 10th Olympia guy. In shape, James.
Yeah, that's fair.
Listen, dude, that 6th place is James better than Hunter? If you put James in shape with Hunter, does Hunter blow him out that much, right? Because Hunter was 6th at the Olympia, right? So he's there. Like, I think we're at an age in our sport where there's not going to be one dominant guy. There's not going to be 2 dominant guys. There's not going to be 3. Any of these guys from 5th through 10th at the Olympia can just be rotated, depending on who shows up. That whole, you got to knock the champ out. You got to pay your dues. Wayne Amelia's gone, right? We have new blood, new judges, fresh judges, and Tyler doesn't seem the kind of guy that's going to like, oh, I like you better. Everybody gets a look, right? So I think James is on the cusp of being mentioned in that top 6 with a good showing here, a good showing at the Arnold UK. And there's no doubt he'll win a show somewhere, right? But it is kind of a make or break. If he misses and plays 7th or 8th, then we're like, oh shit. But Giles, even if you play 7th or 8th, you can still bounce back, man. So it's just
and don't forget we've got the Arnold UK to follow up, which is going to be pretty much the same lineup.
Yes.
So it's going to I mean, wouldn't it be great? I mean, we probably expected the placings to be the same, but there might not be. Like say Marcelo gets 6th and then he jumps up to 3rd or something at the Arnold UK. That's why I think that's quite exciting that these 2 shows are kind of back to back here.
And we saw that change on the European tour row back in the day. Guys placed 2nd, they placed 5th. A lot can happen in 2 weeks. Traveling, get some vodka and coffee, bro. We don't know.
Vodka and coffee.
I did try that one time, and it just made me pee a lot. It didn't really.
Yeah, but that's just on a Saturday night in your house. That doesn't count, mate.
So I put that, guys, real quick.
Saturday night and coffee in the morning, but it doesn't. I didn't wake up shredded.
So this was I have the poll up on screen. I don't know if this is currently updated, but so Samson was in the lead with the online poll that we had. 54% of the votes for Samson to win. Hadi had 37% of the votes. Hollingshead and Raphael were behind that 6% and 3%. So man, it seems like Samson seems to be a fan favorite for this, which is
well, he's defending champion as well. I mean, that makes a difference. Maybe do you think it makes a difference? Defending champion. It didn't work for Rami, did it in 22?
No, doesn't matter.
I think the way they judge it now, I feel like it's fresh.
25 years ago, yes. 25 years ago, Giles, yes. You know what I mean? Probably would have made a difference. But nowadays, you got to have a good physique, man. Like, the hardest thing in the world, people think this is peaking for a bodybuilding show is hard. Peaking for a professional bodybuilding show where you're traveling, time zones, food, sponsors pressure, fan pressure, waiting around for 8 hours to go on stage is hard.
In Romania last year, I mean, you look at the shock and the crowd when they put Behruz in the center and they move Samson to the left. My point, the reason I'm saying that is the fact that they give everyone a good look. They don't just have. I don't feel like they'll have Samson and Hadi by himself. I feel like they'll be moving him around and moving Marcelo in the center. I feel like everyone will get their opportunity because I think that's been a complaint in the past. Like, well, I didn't get a chance to be compared to this guy and that guy. I feel like now, I feel like really, especially Steve Weinberg, he really works. I've been literally doing live streams sat right next to Steve Weinberg, a few seats away. And these guys are just like, the thing is, the crowd goes nuts. They love it. They love seeing everyone get their opportunity. Do you know what I mean? And seeing the guys fight for it. It's, I think it adds more excitement to the shows. I think it's one of the best things to happen to the sport in the last few years.
Milos used to complain all the time. Sorry, Mike. That
you're good.
He hates when he sees people just rush through and this guy didn't get a good look. He feels everyone deserves to get. Everyone trained for and dieted for that show. Everyone deserves to get a good look. I don't quite agree that everyone agrees everyone deserves to be compared with maybe the top 2 or 3 guys, because if you're clearly no names, but if you're clearly someone who's not in the conversation at all for the top 6, should you really get a call out with, Hadi and Samson necessarily? I don't think so, but that's the best thing about one of the best things about the Arnold is the lineups are kept small. It's invitation only. Nobody's getting overlooked. There's only so many guys on stage. I think the most they've ever had was 15, and it's usually around 12 or 13. So nobody gets lost.
How many people do you think they'll put in the first call out?
5.
5, and then 5, and then let's really start to play.
We saw 8. We saw 8. Sorry to interrupt. We saw 8 in Prague. They pulled 8 people out for the first call out.
Too many.
Can you look at 8 guys?
Rob Cannon got 8th or 9th. He was in the first. He was like out with the first call out with fucking Samson. He was buzzing, But
can you look at 8 guys though? If you got 8 guys on stage, right? Can you give each one a fair assessment? You know what I mean? Initially, As opposed, 3 to 5. I miss the good days of the three-man call out, right? Even if you have like 15 3-man call outs, it's still you can focus. Even like 6 or 7, that's still. 4, okay, 3, perfect. But again, everybody gets looked at, Giles. Clarita got a good look. Rami got a good look last year, right? So, and I remember being in Tampa when you had Sergio and what's his name, the Puerto Rican guy. They were going crazy. Fans nowadays, we don't leave after Classic. We don't leave after Bikini. We wait for the big guys, and we go bananas for the big guys. Right?
Alexis Rivera.
Yes, Alexis.
Yeah.
That was the loudest I've heard a crowd
2018.
going crazy. And Steve, he said, "You guys okay? Let's roll." That's what you need to do. Listen, you're a professional. Practice your posing. Right? You know what I mean? You don't got nothing else to do. Practice your posing. It'll help. Like, go back and look at those old guys. Labrada was a statue, bro. He didn't move. His son is like that as well. Hunter doesn't move. A lot of these guys, when you see them on stage, I look and see guys, doing this, just kind of fidgeting around. It draws your eye because they're going to give up. I think Steve looks to see who quits first, who drops, who's going to drop first. He's going and going, man. So we're in a good spot. I think we're in a very good spot, for the sport. And I got 2 weeks, and I'm excited. This is the best time of year. I've never missed Arnold yet. Since 1989, dude, I've always seen every Arnold Classic. So this is my Christmas and birthday.
I'm not to show off, but I think I'll be sat with Ronnie at the front.
Well,
like I was, because in 2016 Body Power, that was when Nathan D'Asha made his pro debut back when he was training with Rulli. And I was asked to escort and take Ronnie because all the other guys were back at the hotel. He said, "Can you take Ronnie to the show and sit with him?" I was like, "Oh, go on then. Go on then, if you insist," And then it's funny because Rulli was up on stage and Ronnie kind of looked up a little bit, and I went, "Wait, wait for this guy." I said, "It's Nathan D'Asha, new guys from 2016." I said, "New guy." I said, "He's been training with." I said, "He's really awesome." And I kind of nudged him when he came on stage, and he just looked at me and he went, and he basically went back down, played on Instagram.
Hard to impress.
Yeah, he's like, he's not bad. He's not bad,
Jesus. So Nathan's not doing the UK, right? Isn't he not doing it?
Who?
Nathan?
No. He's massive at the moment. He's huge. He's 300 pounds again.
Jesus.
Very hard to understand him when he speaks. I'm just curious, Giles. Do you have a hard time understanding him or no?
No.
Really? I love his videos, but I just can't understand them.
Yeah, they need subtitles. It's a very thick accent, the Liverpool accent. Let me ask you guys both a question. Were you disappointed when Andrew Jack dropped out of this?
Yeah, of course.
I get it. I mean, he hasn't had a break, right? He's probably been dieting since, you know what I mean. You want to see the but would he be improved, right? Would he have been improved again, dieting again, and you know what I mean? It's just so why? And if he did the show and didn't look good and was like sixth, we'd be like, oh, Andrew sucked, he's done. You know how fans are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you,
But
do you believe the Rubiel visa thing? Because what the videos I was seeing, I didn't see. It looked like he wasn't prepping. He was just posing.
He was hungry. He was hungry. Rubiel was hungry. He wanted to eat some damn food. Let the man eat some damn food. You know what I mean?
I thought, what are you talking about, Mike? Hungry? No, he clearly wasn't.
I think we project what we want these guys to do, right? But he's the one that's got to like jab himself 3 times a day, be hungry. I'm sure he's got a family. It's just we want him to compete in every show, but we also realize they're human beings, right? They got stress, they got problems. I mean, I'm sure Mel wants a break from Samson eating all this food all the time, cutting his food up. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure she wants a break, just for a minute, for a little bit.
It's like putting coal in in a steam train, just constantly having to feed it.
I watched those videos. God bless her, man, because it's to feed a 300-pound man. Can you imagine the food? The heaviest I got was 250, and to eat that much food sucked. I hated it. So I can only imagine what he's got to do. But we want to see the best for these guys, but you can't. You got 1 heart, 2 kidneys, and 1 liver, right? So you got to make sure that's okay. And this is a sprint. This is a marathon, not a sprint. We've seen guys come up real quick, get great, and then boom, they're gone. You know what I mean?
Burnout.
So for him to be close to 40 says something.
It sounds like a weird question. Were you surprised that Samson was doing the Arnold this year?
Yes.
You were surprised?
Yeah,
I was shocked.
I was.
Why?
You know what I mean?
Why?
Because he had the past couple. What did he do? The Olympia, then the Arnold, then the Olympia again, then the Arnold. It's
Romania,
a lot.
Prague.
Yeah, Romania, Prague. But I hate being that old man again. But they did it back in the day, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they weren't improving back in the day.
You're right, Ron.
They were staying the same, and Samson has been getting better and better. But like Giles has pointed out, and other people, he can't keep doing that forever. It's at some point something's got to give.
Do you know what though? There's a rare breed of bodybuilder that actually needs to compete to improve. I have seen it. I've seen guys that like Ronnie said, you can only compete once a year. I can only really do 1 show a year. But I've seen it where the guys need to be competing to improve. It's probably not even 5% of the pros, but I've seen it happen. I have seen it happen. I just hope that there's no kind of burnout coming, or because the thing is, there's the weight of expectation as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then it's like with Andrew Jacks. It's like, okay, he's a little bit older. He turned pro a little bit older. He really needs to really compete a lot now and improve a lot in a very short space of time to kind of, to get where he needs to get. But, obviously with Andrew pulling out of the Arnold Classic now, it's like, obviously the guy's probably just thought, you know what, I'm tired. You know what I mean? And plus he's got businesses and stuff like that. It's like Andrew Jack. I mean, Samson's a full-time bodybuilder. He's a full-time bodybuilder. That's what he does. His partner, Mylena, she's his manager. She's making his food. She's doing everything. They're a partnership. So like Andrew Jack, he's got businesses in Dubai, he's got all these different things. Some of these people got families, and some of these people can't do that, and some people aren't suited to that. Samson clearly is suited to competing non-stop and also, and improving. It probably keeps his energy levels up high. Maybe if he took a year off and came back, he might not be even as good. But someone like, and Milos, Milos is pushing him all the time because he wants to see him compete. Milos is from that. Milos did every freaking pro show for God knows how many years.
He did like 80. So, he did like almost 90 shows.
This is why Milos and Samson were a very, very, and Malena obviously as a team. This is why it works. And Hostile's not going to say, "Oh no, please don't compete. We don't want you to compete. We'll just do the Olympia next year." No, get in there and freaking compete. They're going to support that.
But you think about Samson got with the Olympia was November, right?
October.
So he got better. He looks like he's improved from October to March, right?
Yeah.
So from March till the Olympia this year, that's a lot of time to decompress, relax, go do some tour, make some money, then boom, let's prep. He's gonna be fresh for prep again. You know what I mean? And like these guys aren't traveling like every weekend during prep. He's not on the road every weekend during prep, so he's at home prepping. So I'm really curious to see what happens that lead up to the Olympia. Like what he's gonna show come to Olympia. You know what I mean? And again, how much bigger can Derek get? Right? How much bigger can Lunsford get at his size, just so you got to watch those big guys, him especially. And I know George UK is me and him go back and forth about Andrew Jack, but I'm telling you, man, Andrew Jack is special. That guy, he may not look super, but when he poses, shit happens, and he's got a way of twisting his physique and looking a certain way in certain shots. But I'm all aboard. I'm on the Andrew Jack Kool-Aid. I mean, I'm like Jonestown with Andrew Jack, bro.
When he did was it Texas he did last year? I mean, he peaked beautifully there. He peaked beautifully, But then the thing is, next to Samson, though, he still looks like he needs more size.
At the Arnold last year, though, Giles, I thought Andrew Jack for prejudging was going to win that show.
Don't start. You give me PTSD from me and Milos. Me and Milos did. I said Andrew. I thought I had Andrew winning the prejudges. Exactly what you just said, and that caused like one of the most almighty video call rows of my life.
He walked out on that stage. I'm like, so Samson's in trouble. That's the first thing I say. Samson's in trouble. But it just again, something happened to where Samson got better. Andrew faded a little bit. But again, listen. I don't know where he was in the judges' scorecard, but we're at an era now where Andrew, Samson, I think when Quentin starts to kind of mature and get his dude, it's
agree.
That kid is just the sky's the limit for that kid, man. You know what I mean? I think I would love, hopefully maybe next year, if it's in Orlando again, to see
I think
those
he still
three.
needs a little bit more time, doesn't he?
He does.
A little bit more time, and
does.
the back for me still needs a bit more pop.
Even as he had a guest posing. His back still wasn't there in the guest posing.
Right.
But in a couple
of time.
And again, we as fans, we want to rush. We want it like this. Come on, fix your back, get on stage.
Yeah.
But it's the human body doesn't work like that, man. It's just but we're fans.
Can I ask a question? I had a funny feeling Nick Walker was going to do what he did last year and jump into this,
Yeah, I thought he might.
You know what, man? Listen, real talk. I don't think I don't know Nick. Again, I'm just a fan, so nobody out there crucify me and shit. But I think he knows he can't beat Samson. He can't beat Hottie.
Okay.
Why go to that show and maybe get third and not get my qualification? Now again, New York is Sergio doing New York?
Haven't heard about that, but
I can find out because one of my friends is him and Dorian are training him.
I hope he does.
There's no guarantee you're going to win a show. Right, I think Nick may have pushed Derek hard at the Olympia. I personally feel that, right? But there's no guarantee you're going to win New York, right?
Hang on. Rubiel's doing New York, and I'm telling you, I saw him in Prague, and if that kid improves enough, dude, Nick's not going to blow him off the stage.
No, and he's not. And again, like it's set up for a great battle between those two, But it's just. I don't know, man. I don't know Nick. It's just maybe because he's younger. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I don't want to, But he's got a great physique. I think he's got a great physique. He's uber confident. When he's on, he's hard to beat. And whether you like him or not, or his personality or not, he brings a level of conditioning and hardness that's not seen. But I think he hasn't been as good as he was since he did that. The Olympia last year, he was great, or 2 years ago, he was great. I liked his look. But when he won the Arnold, that look was insane.
Oh, you prefer that, dude?
That was phenomenal look for him, man. But I think he's getting bigger and bigger. Nick's my height, dude. He's literally 5'7".
Like 300 pounds, isn't he?
Yeah, it blows my mind how much muscle he has. But is the extra it's bodybuilding.
Hang on, Nick. Sorry, Ron, go back. I noticed some very stripy shoulders there on Nick, and I respect that.
Okay.
Hang on. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Oh, I like him now. I like him now. Nick, all forgiven. All forgiven.
Yeah, because you were a Nick Walker hater, but now, come on, guys, give Giles his props here.
Nick's going to win the Olympia, 24.
Everyone's going to win the Olympia. It's going to be a tie for everybody. How's that?
Be nice to everybody. We're all winners.
We're going all three of us going to get participation medals as well.
That's all. That's the world we live in now. It's just good job. You did a great job. Don't worry about winning. But I digress.
And his waist, shots like this, that's not photoshopped. I don't see any weirdness going on there. He's still got it. He does have a really good V-taper. He's just got so much mass, and he's a shorter guy. If he was taller, I think we would not hear these things. Wow, he's blocky. He's this and that. granted, I don't think he's got the prettiest physique in the world compared to some guys, but
He's a mutant.
look at that.
Listen, this is a freak show. Like, period. We watch this because we want to see freaks. You know what I mean? We don't want to see, just pretty guys. You want to see a freak, and Nick's a freak. But it's just that pose right there. That's the one. It's not his best pose, but next to Andrew or Derek,
everyone has a weak pose.
Right, it does. But I think we get so into counting poses. Oh, this pose.
He won 4 poses out of 7. He won 5 poses out of 7. Like, dude, it doesn't work like that.
Shall I put myself in the hater firing line again?
Do it.
I don't like Samson's side tricep.
Oof.
Everybody got a shot, man. But it's nothing. When you're a professional body, this is what drives me nuts. I'm sorry, but it's part of criticism. Comes with the territory.
Thank you.
The judges criticize you by placing you 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. The guy that places 12th isn't going crying that I got 12th place.
It's a sports comparison.
You're putting your physique on display for people to pick apart, right? The judges do, the fans do, we all do it. And it's not out of maliciousness. It's not out of anger. We're nitpicking the best guys in the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fine too what we can find that's wrong, right? Messi's awesome. I'm sure somebody's got a problem with Messi's soccer game, right? He's perfect, but I had to include a reference that you would get. So, because I don't know soccer, but that's the only soccer player.
I don't. What are you talking about?
But we're critiquing the best guys in the world, and it's not a place of hate, right?
Do you know the only thing that popped into my head there when I was thinking, because I was like, I've been told off for criticizing Hadi, for critiquing Samson's physique, and it's like, so what you're saying is these guys are absolutely perfect and there's no way that they can improve. That's basically what you're saying by saying I shouldn't be critiquing their physiques, and I'm wrong. So the only time I can think of anything remotely resembling, coming close to what I look at and say, okay, that's perfect, was Flex Wheeler 98 Arnold.
Giles, that was the greatest physique I've ever seen in.
And you were there.
This is what I did. He walked out like this.
Yeah, perfect.
He looked hollow. That was perfection in my eyes, right? And that was maybe, and then that's our opinion, but that was once in 70 years of physique like that comes along, right?
Yeah.
So even Ronnie had bad poses. You know what I mean? Bob Parrish, who I thought was flawless, hence the title of the book, also had problems, right? Nobody's perfect, and you can't. Fans think these guys are like they walk on water, right?
Why do you think Arnold never hit a conventional side tricep? He always did the arms out. It's because he was trying to hide his weaknesses, because he knew that wasn't his best pose. Why did he never post a back shot, really, Arnold, very often? He tried to hide them all.
And you never saw Arnold doing a side tricep. I never saw a picture of him anywhere side tricep. I think in the Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding there was one back lat spread that he had in there. But it's just, and I don't know, man. Like, again, old man, fans nowadays, they're not fans of the sport. They're fans of individuals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a great sport if you give it a chance. Just don't. Nick's awesome, but he's not perfect. You know what I mean? Hadi's not perfect. I know pride in your country is awesome, and I love that about people. But this is a physique show, period. Not personality. Put a brown bag on their head and judge them that way. Then you know what I mean? You know, if you want to complain, don't yell at Giles about his opinions. Email the judges. The judges showed you weren't judging Korea, Giles, were you? When Hadi lost, you weren't okay.
No, well, like I said the other week, somebody said, "Oh, because you've said that you've pointed out that there's a disparity between Hadi's left and right leg. Now the judges are going to read this and they're gonna pick on him for it when he gets on stage." And I was just like, "You don't know how wrong you are with that."
Everybody's got. If you look closely, everybody has an imbalance. Sergio Oliva did, and everybody does, man. But you can't. I just want to choke some of these kids sometimes and just realize, wake up. It ain't that deep.
It's part and parcel. I mean, we've been doing this like 30 years. I mean, I know it comes with the territory.
And God bless you guys handle that. You guys handle that shit so well. I would cuss some of these son of bitches out. They talking like that.
I'm gonna put it out there though. You know, when I was doing the live stream in Prague. And I was critiquing Samson. Milos was messaging me on my phone, bombarding me with messages. And it's my fault. It's my fault because I didn't turn my phone off, and it should have been off. but I had to mute him because I was just like, I'm literally doing this live. You're at home watching, and you're sending me shit. I haven't spoken to him since, actually.
But we're bodybuilding fans. Listen, we're passionate fans, man. We're
I get it.
We're not European soccer fans, but we're passionate fans.
Guys, I want to wrap this up with the traditional way we do these things. I'll go first, so I'm not putting you on the spot first. We're going to give our top fives, and then, of course, in the comments below. Yeah, I know. Look, everyone's getting nervous. In the comments below, you guys can all give your top five. We'll see how it all shakes out. It's not set in stone. This is not personal. We don't hate anybody. We're not in love with anybody. This is my top five. Wow. Hadi Chupan, Samson Dauda, Horse MD, James Hollingshead, Rafael Brandao. Yeah, it's rough. I know. I'm like, go ahead. Giles?
Hadi first. Samson second. Rafael third. James Hollingshead fourth. Marcelo fifth. And John De La Rosa in sixth.
I would have had John in six too, but we're only in the top five. All
But
right, you want to do top six?
It could be. Oh God, yeah. Sorry, go on.
Mike Cox, Big Mike Cox. Let's hear it.
Samson Dauda, Hadi Chupan, James Hollingshead,
Shed.
Rafa Brandao,
Yeah.
Mo Shaban in fifth.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Sixth place, Horse MD.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Hang on, who have you missed out? Rafael.
I got Rafa in fourth.
Okay, sorry. I
Rafa
missed
in fourth.
that.
Yep.
Right. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll be honest. I played it safe because I'm basically going upon how they've done at Olympia.
Yeah.
I copped out there a little bit. But like I said, guys improve, guys don't improve, guys miss their peak. So I think if everything based upon what we've seen in the 2022 and 23 Olympia, that's how it likely will shake out. But like I said, the time gives time chance for these guys to improve, and there's also, like I said, there's so many things that can go wrong with their peak. Do you know what I mean? And also it's over 2 days again, isn't it?
Friday and
yeah,
Saturday.
it's Friday and Saturday.
And you said there, and I had Andrew Jack winning the prejudging last year's Arnold, but then Samson. I interviewed Andrew Jack last year, and he says, I said to Milos, what the hell did you do with Samson on Fridays? He said, as soon as I saw Samson backstage, he says, I knew he'd won it. I knew he'd won it on the Saturday.
Wow.
Because he pulled it. So, that's why I'll be honest, I do like it over 2 days because I like that,
It changes.
Remember Kuklo was he in second, with Nick Walker?
Yeah.
And then he dropped down to fourth at the Arnold Classic a couple of years ago, and Amanda Lotono, his ex-wife, went crazy. You know what I mean? Do you remember that? That? That's what I like. I love it. I love that I love the fact that so much can happen even in 24 hours. So, like Phil Heath on Mr. Saturday Night, he looked great on the Friday, but then Saturday he'd be like, what the frick did he do? Behrooz did it last year in 21. He got great the prejudging. Just a few hours later comes back, and I was going on the live stream, screaming, what the hell's he done? Just crazy. I love it.
I need to remind everyone the live stream is free for the Arnold Classic this year. Free. There's probably going to be commercials, so don't cry, people. You got to watch some commercials because you're not paying 40, 50, 60, $80 for it. You're getting 100% free. So props to the Arnold people for that. I believe it'll be on their YouTube channel. I think it's just called Arnold. Is it Arnold Sports Festival? You guys can Google it. You can look it up. Don't be lazy and message me like you always do on Instagram. Hey, what's the link? Give me the link. You can find it, guys.
Wow, what time does the prejudging start?
Yeah, dude, the messages I get during these shows are insane. It's like, they want me to do a play-by-play for them. Anyway, I love you guys. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's a bit much. So free live stream. We can all watch it together. We're going to be doing coverage on this channel. I'm not sure exactly how, why yet, but we'll let you know. I'll let you know. That's why you need to be subscribed to the channel. You need to turn your notifications on. Do all that. You'll know when everything's going down. If you're not watching this live, and I appreciate all you guys who jumped in here live and gave your 2 cents. That's what we're here for. Predictions are nothing more than mental masturbation at the end of the day, guys. Things change. We don't know what's really going to happen until we're there, seated at the show with when they come out on stage. You don't know what's going to happen, how everyone's going to really look. They could look phenomenal 2 weeks out and look like ass the day of the show, or vice versa. they could look like a water buffalo right now and show up on stage like, wow, what the hell did that guy do? So that's what makes it exciting, is because things change, physiques change from day to day, and favorites and predictions. None of that means a damn thing. The judging now is so much better than it was years ago. People aren't being judged by their names or where they placed at the last couple shows.
Mhm.
Weinberger and crew and Tyler and them, they judge day of the show, what's in front of them. So I got to give them a lot of credit as people like me and Mike and Giles who went to shows years ago when it wasn't that way.
I will say it though, regardless if with Samson wins this Arnold Classic or doesn't, he will win the Olympia.
Wow. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not betting against him. I'm not betting a damn thing against him. No.
100%. 100%.
Totally agree.
I think he's going to. He's the first time we've had a Sandow in the UK since '97.
And the 60th anniversary of the Mr. Olympia as well.
Yeah. I'll be there.
Yeah. Guys, follow Giles on Instagram. It's Giles Tiger, correct?
Giles _Tiger.
Giles _Tiger. You can't get tickets for the Ronnie Coleman tour. It's already sold out. Am I right?
Wow.
Some of the one of the venues in the UK is sold out, but also I'm making another announcement because should I say?
Go ahead. What the heck?
Yeah, we're extending the tour because of popular demand. And that's actually still having to turn away promoters in the gyms in the UK, places in the UK, and also other countries. But this place was really adamant, like, we want Ronnie, and I went, okay, make us an offer, and I'll put it to him. And what do you think he said?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
I'll be there, Giles. Whenever you want me there, I'll be there.
Buddy. Yep.
I
love Ronnie.
Ronnie's awesome, man. He's the best.
For a guy that's been retired.
I can't wait. I just keep him fed with lots of Nando's because he loves Nando's.
Man, so Giles, Mike, I thank you much for taking the time and doing this. Appreciate it. It was good
My
to have
pleasure,
the gang.
bro.
Good to have the gang together again, man.
Awesome.
It feels good.
Anytime,
For
bro. Real.
Yeah.
Love it.
So that's it, guys. I appreciate all you who watched it live. If you're watching us on the replay, always appreciate it. Subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff. Try and get this channel up and going so I can bring back some of that old flavor that we had at the old channel at MD.
You got Dr. George. You got Dr. George back.
Yeah.
You're already rebuilding it, mate. People can see what you're doing, mate. And so it needs. I'm always here to support you. You know that, mate.
Love it, Ron.
And
stuff, bro.
big shout out and thanks to Jen. Jen's been helping me so much with this new channel. Could not do it without her. She was the brains behind the operation. The people didn't realize she was doing a lot of the behind the scenes work and making that channel grow tremendously, the MD channel in the last few years. And now she's helping me with the same thing. So much love and much appreciation, Jen.
So what were you and me, Ron? Just the eye candy?
Yeah, we were just the pretty boys. Everyone, we just want to see those guys.
With the pretty hair.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty lacking. Look at us. There's not much hair at all between all three of us, huh?
Yes, that game's over. That ship is sailed, bro. I'm done.
More hair on my ass.
Exactly. Well, I'm actually letting my hair grow until I can train again. I can't train this month while my hair's rebuilding.
Oh no! Oh,
yeah. Yeah. You know the high blood pressure from training can pop out the new hair grafts.
Oh, that's what happened to me. Yeah. That's why.
What? That's exactly what happened, man. So that's it, guys. Again, thanks you two. You really made this special, and that's it. I hope to do this again real soon. We'll keep the contest previews and reports and stuff going because we love the sport. We have not lost 1 ounce of passion for it after all these damn years. All three of us have been in this game for decades, not years, but decades.
Just getting started, mate.
Yeah. So that's it. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for this Arnold Classic preview. We appreciate your viewership so much, and we'll be here for you in the days, months, and years to come. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.